on likely questions from this year's exams.
Discuss the metaphysical meaning of the following poem. My friend Billy has a 10-foot willy.
Would you like this exam to be A, multiple choice, or not?
The Bronte sisters. Shag, marry, push off a cliff.
Discuss the following. The Nazis got all their ideas from the History Channel.
Who was the chap in the A team who would not get on the aeroplane? Was it A, B, or B, A?
If a bank loses £60 billion in a 6-month period, using numbers that you've plucked out of thin air, work out what the chief executive's bonus will be.
Napoleon, a small man or a long way away?
Quantify n in terms of q when q is a positive integer that dissects a parabolic curve.
How's your lucky pencil case now?
What's the name of that round thing that they throw in the Olympics? Discuss.
Draw a diagram of the genitalia of the male elephant. Use all 30 sheets of paper provided.
Biology. Without singing, what is the knee bone connected to?
Explain the use of juxtaposition in Macbeth. Alternatively, write down everything you know about Macbeth in a blind panic because you've got no idea what the word juxtaposition is.
Drama. Question 1. What was it that first made you want to become a waiter?
What is your PIN number?
What proposal has Energy Secretary Chris Huhne announced this week?
He's going to try and force energy companies to reduce prices, isn't he?
Something about... Yeah, he is, yeah, because he thinks that people aren't getting the competition they deserve.
I think the problem there is that people don't understand energy supplier, the phrase, do they? Particularly teenagers and stuff. You say, you know, have you switched your energy supplier? They'll probably go, well, like I was on Lucozade, now I'm on Relentless.
That's the problem. That is the voice of young Britain, right?
I'm, in fact, on Economy 7.
Oh.
And that's supposed to save you money because the idea is you do things overnight. But I'm not sure it does actually save you money because you tend to put the washing machine to go on overnight, then you actually forget that you've put it on. 2 days later, you go back to the washing machine, smell the clothes, think, I better put those on again.
Isn't Economy 7 saving you money so long as you're using it in 1986? I would say to you, Andy, that cookability is...
And if you want to save energy, Andy, you want to fit the best fit ever.
It's called Economy 7!
It is called Economy 7, yeah.
Andy, I've got something to say to you. Boom, 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 boom. That's so blue.
Leave him. Don't take the piss out of him. He's got a tiger in his tank.
The funny is, I don't get any of these jokes because I grew up in Ireland. I don't get any of these jokes.
How about fiddly-dee, have coal?
That wasn't a popular ad in Ireland, thank you very much.
It would make things a lot easier if there was an actual difference when you switch supplier. If they went, I've gone from EDF to British Gas, and now, I don't know, it looks a bit French or something. Do you know what I mean? If it just had something about it, that it wasn't patently exactly the same gas, and just a different bill.
What, then the gas should come out in a different colour?
Yes, I don't know, or shape or something.
Oh, I like like this. This is new. Ooh, dun, 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 dun. Every so often, a Sonnet Lumiere show would go on.
My father is convinced that since they switched to a French-owned electricity company, that is coming through slower. He is sure of it. I don't know what it means.
And did you think that it's kind of coming with a kind of a French... I'll be there in a minute. Why are you so desperate to have a cup of tea? I'll be there.
I'm still distressed to find out that My Economy 7 only existed back in the 1980s.
The subject is charity. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
It's, cheer if anyone's ever given clothes to Oxfam. Fair enough. You whooped then. Woo, do we win a prize? No. It's a really odd feeling because you feel quite proud of yourself. Just wonder, where am I going? I'm off to save Africa. That's right. And you wander in, you just plop down your clothes. Always some lovely lady buying it anywhere. And there's a tiny part of you that gets really annoyed. You almost want to go, right! Well, we'll do that again, shall we? And this time you're going to act like you give a shit. It sounds bad, but there's a tiny part of you that wants her to go, Sire, he brings goods! The chosen one has arrived! As you fling pants at orphans. Yippee, hurrah! Will you ever be back in time, you needy tinkers? Banana grass.
Russell Howard.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely film trailers.
A man who only wants one thing. Strepsils.
In his toughest assignment yet, Peter Parker has to pick a peck of pickled peppercorn.
Drama, intrigue, romance, gardening, spoons, all these and other words in Dictionary the movie.
All your favourite administrators are back in Human Resources 2. This time it's personnel.
When a hairpiece gets possessed by the devil, there'll be hell to pay.
He loves sex, but he has no arms. Which position will he choose? Missionary impossible.
If you see one film this year, then you're probably a new parent.
It was a love story that crossed the species barrier. He was a man, she was a cow. Coming soon, Beef Encounter.
Coming soon, a 3D film where you don't get bored halfway through and lift up the glasses just to see what the screen looks like without it.
Every Year I Love You More, starring Michael Jackson and Benjamin Button.
Coming soon, a story of premature ejaculation.
The Grand Budapest Hotel. Brilliant, The Times. 5 stars, The Guardian. The beds weren't made, TripAdvisor.
Part man, part machine, part bird, part drum. It's Robo Bongo Cuckoo Cop. Thank you very much.
A group of Greeks try to get away with their money. Chicken Run.
My Dad Pictures presents. Your man. I know him from something. Anyway, him and a woman. I think she was in here. Maybe it was House. She was definitely a doctor. Join forces to fight. I know him. He's gone awful old looking, hasn't he?
It's the bromance of the year. Ed and David Miliband star in What the Fuck Was the Point of That Then?
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. Okay, here we go. The first subject is rejected questions from this year's exams.
If sine A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over C, what are the chances that you're ever going to use this in your sodding adult life?
According to Germany, how much is Greece worth? 1 mark.
Exam board of Zaragoza. Paint Jesus.
Jonathan is a Nigerian prince. What are your credit card details?
3 girls in this hall are pregnant. Who's the daddy?
Compare the following. A, the market. B, the meerkat.
Heat the crystals until they produce a vapor. Inhale. The exam seems easier now, doesn't it?
Without swearing, describe Peter Andre.
Mental arithmetic. Count up the voices in your head.
Using the paper provided, roll a joint and pass it round.
Does this look infected?
In the recent Olympics, Great Britain won 3 times as many gold medals as Australia. That's not a question, just a statement.
One Direction are incredibly popular. Explain.
Sport. How do you spell Akabusi? Is it A-K-B-U-C? Yes or no?
If Steve eats 2 apples, an orange and a banana, why is he such a fat fucker?
Moving on, what criticisms has Theresa May faced this week?
Which is having to change her name depending on which month we're...
She's a submarine.
Yes, why is she submarine?
That was her nickname, apparently, the unkind nickname they gave her, because she sort of has a tendency to sort of disappear under the water when difficult issues come up.
It's sort of a kind of a cool nickname as well, though, isn't it? It's kind of like, they chose a nickname for me. It's really like the nickname you'd pick for yourself. They got me the submarine. Ping! And you disappear under the table. Like.
The joke about submarines is never that they disappear all the time. It's that they're full of semen, isn't it? It's such a weird... What?
Is it?
Okay, don't broadcast, please. We all saw that one and didn't go for it. And he, the classiest one among us, went for that joke, all right? I appeal to your better... Man in the editing suite, I appeal to your better angel.
Submarines don't disappear, do they? That's not what you associate with submarines,
well,
is
they
it?
don't, yeah. They pop up eventually, you know where they are, right? That's the point of a... Yes, and they're heavily armed and they pop up unexpectedly. If it was the case that they were having meetings and then unexpectedly she'd like, hello! From underneath the desk. Hello! I'm doing that! Oh! Run silent, run deep. And then she goes back under the desk again.
Also, nicknames don't always have to be accurate. When I was at school, my nickname was NK47, and my first email address was thechocolateBombshell@hotmail.com. So, still active.
You absolutely... You are such a loser. Hotmail. All right, Mr. Ask Jeeves.
Why is Sam Allardyce England's greatest manager?
He managed England for 1 match and he won it.
So he's the only England manager who's ever had a 100% record.
100% win record. He will be fondly remembered. Yes, as we all know, Sam Allardyce departed his job after 100% record on Tuesday, leaving the FA with mutual consent after an event. What was the event?
Has he gone to the event dressed as you, Dora?
Oh. It's not meant in a nice way.
On the one hand, I feel that's very unfair to pick on somebody for having a dark jacket and a white shirt, but the shit I got last time for having a waistcoat, have at him.
This photo of Allardyce was taken by the Telegraph's undercover journalists.
Could you not have gotten a better photograph of him? That one's very grainy.
That is him at the table.
He's got a pint of wine.
Everyone loves the idea that he went, yeah, I'll have a pint of... just a pint of wine. Not too much, because I don't want to speak out of turn, and perhaps for these words to be used against me at some later stage. But all I ask is that you bring me to a restaurant where I can drink a pint of wine and eat the largest Malteser in the world. Just leave it slightly out of reach during the meal. But I want a Malteser as big as my head. And I'm going to finish the meal with that.
England now need a manager that's going to stay, don't they? Because we've been through a few, haven't we, over the years? We need somebody with staying power and who's popular. So it is time for Jeremy Corbyn to become the England manager, don't you think? Bring the game back to its roots.
Let the members vote. That's the Corbyn way.
11 left-wingers, the world's worst formation.
Unlikely agony aunt letters.
Dear Deirdre, I have recently become obsessed with a woman and begun stalking her. Look out of the window.
My partner won't give me oral sex, which is really annoying, because that's the only reason I formed the coalition with him in the first place.
My wife says I don't feel anything, which is a problem. And there was something else. Oh, yes, I'm on fire.
I'm 26, my girlfriend's 36. Is 10 years too big an age gap? Because her daughter's 16, she's a right little soul.
I have recently met a woman who makes me feel young again. She's 167.
Dear Auntie, I'm a very, very nervous person, and sudden noises really startle me. In fact, even if I hear a buzzer, a bit of wee comes out.
My mates are all getting into drugs, but I don't know what to do. Should I charge them mates' rates or just normal prices?
Dear Deirdre, I am a control freak. What should I do? I'll tell you what I should do.
I am 96, but I'm convinced that young women fancy me. Do I have penile dementia?
I've been wanting to come and see you for a long time, but I can't get out of the chair!
I am a man trapped inside the body of a woman. Could you tell us, please, how to get out of position 43 of the Kama Sutra?
I work in the public sector, and I'm really worried about my pension.
We've had reports of an iceberg, but don't worry, no ship has ever been sunk by a lettuce.
Hello and welcome to Ryanair Cruises. The following safety announcement is incredibly vital if you want to stay alive. And if you'd like to hear that, that'll be an extra £5.
No, we very rarely get any injuries from people playing quoits. You were just unlucky to be sunbathing naked with an erection.
Oh, yeah, we were on this last year when it sunk. If you look to your left, there's a man eating squid. After that, he's having chips.
I would like to apologise for the rocking of this boat, but we are currently being humped by a whale.
Thanks for coming to the show. I've got to be honest, it's been a while since I've sung this one. Do you want to be in my gang, my gang?
Welcome to Rita's Erotic Ping Pong Bingo. Two fat ladies, eh, Oh, the threes, 33. Oh, some hobnobs.
For those of you gathering on the car deck, I said we would soon be docking, not dogging.
I'm looking for a really old husband with money. How's your heart?
No, mate. I'm in the cabin next to yours. Could you be a bit noisy when you're having sex?
There appears to have been an incident in the swimming pool. If a Mr. Barrymore could contact the captain.
Okay, give that round. Points go to Chris, Hugh and Sarah. Unlikely things to hear on a motoring programme.
Listen to that deep, throaty roar
of the man I've just run over.
George Michael says he's never driven a car that's handled so well on the pavement.
Now, I would describe this car as being very nippy, but apparently I'm not allowed to say that. I have to say it's made in Japan.
I'm about to shag a bloke. Welcome to Ride My Pimp.
Women everywhere have come together to announce their favourite car. It's the red one.
This car has a fail-safe anti-theft device. It's a Vauxhall Corsa.
First, second, third, fourth, yes, all my wives have divorced me because I'm such a twat about cars.
It's just a car, innit? It gives a shit.
Thank you. This car is actually owned by Jeremy Clarkson, which is why I'm running my key along it now.
My first impression is that the dashboard layout is actually quite unorthodox and very minimalist. There doesn't seem to be a steering... actually, I'm sitting in the back.
Ah, it still has that new hitchhiker smell.
I don't know about you, but I think it'd be quite nice to walk today.
These sounds have been surprisingly low for the new Renault Bel End.
This car has been modified for the American market. It's got 6 cup holders, a sandwich stand and a small rotisserie attached to the dashboard.
This week on Top Gear, we're going to be talking about some penises. Cars! We're talking about cars! Cars! Oh, cars!
This car's personalised management system remembers who you are and how you drive. This morning it locked me out and told me to fuck off.
Well done. Again, that's the point to Ed, Katherine and Andy. Unlikely things to hear at the World Cup.
And here comes the Irish team.
Cold. Sorry, that is wow. You're getting buzzed to fuck for the rest of it. Okay. Sorry, Hugh. You like to go
It's
in
all
there?
right.
Yeah,
It's okay.
absolutely.
That's
Hugh.
fine.
Here with the first answer is Hugh.
And here come the Irish team.
Hello, I'm really sorry we didn't get in this year.
And up in the stand, the Uruguayan women with their chant, Uruguay, and I'm a gwirl.
And Portugal have beaten Spain, and Saudi Arabia have beaten a woman for wearing shorts.
Jamie Vardy managed 4 shots in the first half, 3 sambucas and a Skittles vodka.
And that is a great shot from the Russian, but unfortunately the journalist has survived.
So it's Panama's first time at the tournament, but they have been doing FIFA's accounts.
And Sterling has taken a dive. That's it for financial news. Back to the football.
Well, it's official. England are out. And we can go back to identifying people with flags in their windows as racist.
Well, let's have a look at the Swedish bench. $12.99 from IKEA.
Oh, and that is a huge tackle. That has got to make it more difficult to rollerblade.
Brilliant goalkeeper, David De Gea. Midfield maestro, Mesut Ozil. Fast forward.
And he's nipped round the back and banged in an absolute screamer. This really is the best leaked sex tape in the history of football.
Well, we didn't think it was possible, but somehow Gareth Southgate has managed it. England eliminated before the group stage.
Well, at 2-1 down, Iran had to do something. So they brought on their secret weapon, a 14-megaton intercontinental ballistic missile.
If you've just tuned in to England versus Germany, what are you doing, mate? Love Island is on.
Well, it looks like semis for Croatia. I wish they had worn bigger shorts.
That's a shocking miss from Jesus. They are going to absolutely crucify him for that.
Is teaching. Who wants to come in on that? Greg.
I was a teacher for many, many years, ladies and gentlemen, and I knew the day I had to leave teaching, it was simple because a very clear sign was given to me that I should leave the profession by a child, because a child walked into my lesson 20 minutes late. I was a very strict teacher. I was livid, yeah? I was almost as mad as if that child had been running in the school corridor, right? I thought, I am having this little bastard. I am having this. So I gave him my most ruthless teacher stare when he walked in, something like... Maybe not that sexually aggressive. That would work. That would work, though, wouldn't it? They wouldn't be late again then, would they? Oh, dear. Where have you been? No, it wasn't right. I was furious. I went, oh, really? Oh, really? And I could see that child didn't give a shit, right? And I thought, oh, no, this is the end of my teaching career. And I went, where have you been? And he went, yeah, sorry, sir. I went, really? Are you? Well, where the hell have you been for 20 minutes? And I promise you, that child looked me in the face, went, yeah, sorry, sir. I've been living La Vida Loca. What can you say to that? I said, fair enough, sit down. Anyone who quotes Ricky Martin at me, ladies and gentlemen, is a friend for life.
Well done, Greg. The answer is cheese, wine and rubbish. What is the question?
What 3 words best describe France?
What are my ex-girlfriend's pet names for my testicles and penis?
With gas bills rising, what advice has one executive at Centrica, the owners of British Gas?
Oh, I love this guy. Put on 2 jumpers. Could he be more evil?
I think the thing for me is that I don't think there's any way of gauging how hot pensioners should be, because there is no limit to how hot pensioners seem to want to be. Speaking to my granny, I'm pretty sure I could pour a boiling pan of jam in her face. I have walked into there and almost turned into a pillar of salt sometimes. And to be honest with you, if the heat doesn't get you in that woman's flat, then the speakers on the telly will make you mentally ill.
Lines you wouldn't hear in a superhero movie.
No, R. Kelly, you can't join the Fantastic Four. It's not enough to believe you can fly.
Unlikely letters for an agony aunt to receive.
Dear Deirdre, can that giant man lift me up like a baby?
You bet your ass you can. Dear Auntie, my testicles are the size of space hoppers. I don't need any advice, I just wanted to tell someone.
The topic is the human body.
I have to tell you that being a tall man in this country is tedious, ladies and gentlemen. Tedious, because in small towns throughout the country, there are a series of jokes prepared by the locals on our behalf. I'll be walking innocently into a local pub or down the street, and I'll get several jokes. One of the jokes might be this. Just to give you an example of the level we're talking about. Another joke might be, what's the weather like up there? It's freezing. There's a massive climate change in this amount of space here. You toothless buffoon. Probably the most offensive example of this is genuine. I was at a cash point and there was a little old woman in front of me at the cash point tapping away with her claws, and I'm sorry, I'm just quite angry about this. And when she'd finished, bless her heart, she turned around and she hadn't seen me. She turned around and she went like this. Oh! Maybe not that sexually. She said, oh! And then with no hint of irony at all, she asked me this question. Would you like a job at my house, changing light bulbs? No. No, old woman. I have plans of my own. Now, get out of the way of the cash point. 20 minutes is long enough for you to have worked out that that's a Tesco club card.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Science, please.
OK, science is the category. The answer is 40 years. What's the question?
What is the average waiting time at Glasgow A&E on a Friday night?
Deleted lines from a fantasy film.
This will never work, Frodo. You all right, John? How's it going, all right? Yeah. How's the kids? All right? See you later.
Things you don't want to hear from your flatmate.
I'd give it 10 minutes in the toilet if I were you. That one could talk.
Only if you found out that his charming Spanish wife sold salad would his popularity have been any lower.
I think if two Labour MPs find themselves against each other, they should combine, like the Transformers, to make one super MP and destroy all of the Liberals forever.
There's something in that plan. Maybe slightly more working out than that.
It's the 1 year anniversary of the coalition.
Yes.
At this point, I bet David forgot. I bet Nick was ringing up going, so where are you taking me? We know where he's taking you, and how roughly.
I agree. Cameron is constantly going on about the strength of the union and how strong they are. I think they should be made to kiss in public. That's what we used to do at primary school. If people said they liked each other, we made them kiss.
By the way, was this during your career as a pupil or during your later career as a teacher?
It was a prison. It was a prison school, I was at.
OK. Subject is family. Who wants to come in on that? Greg.
All of my family are obsessed by the ageing process. Every single generation of us are obsessed by it at the moment. I'll just share this with you before I talk about other family members, just so I can get it off my chest. I was visiting my parents last week, and an old family friend came up to us in the street and said to my mum, "Hello, Pauline, how are you?" She said, "I'm all right, thanks, Kath, how are you?" And then she looked up at me and she said, "Hello, Bob, how are you?" Bob is my dad. He is 75 years of age. All of us are obsessed with it. All of us are obsessed with ageing in our family. Even my nan. My nan is doing her best to hold off the years. She puts a pound of face cream on every single morning, you know, and there's not a face cream on the market that works, ladies and gentlemen. I know that because of my nan, because she's a lovely woman, but she's religiously applied this stuff, and with the best will in the world, her face is ruined. I said to her, "You've spent all that time and all that money, Gran, and your face is no better than Grandad's." And he's dead. He died in the war. He got shot in the face. With a cannon.
Is it how many doors do a Jehovah's Witness have to knock on before someone lets them in? Is it what rhymes with Schmivehundred Smillion?
Okay, if that's what we're doing, then can I have the correct answer, please?
That's the end of the round, then?
Yeah, that's definitely a sign of either the end of the round or the end of days.
Did you see John Prescott's offer to the people who didn't manage to get tickets? John Prescott put a tweet out saying, if you've missed out on tickets to the Olympic Games, the East Hull Olympic Games start today in the park in my constituency, which is kind of like saying, can't afford the opera? Well, there's a tramp at the bottom of my road. Yes, he whistles my way.
Greg, why are you following John Prescott on Twitter?
Private reasons. What? I had a haircut in Turkey and they set fire to my ear hair.
Really? Oh, yeah, but they liked it, but not the entire thing, just they...
No, they didn't just...
Paraffin all over. Welcome! Thank you for coming to Crazy Omar's Barbershop. Things you wouldn't hear at a school assembly.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, boys and girls. I've just had a shit the size of a baby seal. A wise man once said, boys and girls, that if you try your hardest, you can fulfil your dreams. Generally, that's true. Not for you, though, Tom. You can't read. So...
The next topic is unlikely things to hear on a TV talent show.
You're right. I can't sing. Thanks. Oh. Where's my double act partner? Oh, he's in here. Feeling nothing more than feeling, trying to
First subject is fatherhood. Who wants to give me that? Greg.
Yeah, my father has taken fatherhood in a very strange direction in the last few years. And it started about 3 years ago at Christmas when he announced to me, and this is a quote, and all of what I'm about to tell you is entirely real. This happened. He said to me, "Son, I am 72. I said, "I'm aware of that." He said, "Yes. I've decided from now on I should start behaving exactly as I see fit." And I said, "Well, I would welcome that." He said, "I'm glad you agree, because when you come home for Christmas, you'll discover this year that I am wearing a Christmas outfit." I went, "All right, then." I got home, and true to his word, he was wearing a Christmas outfit. I swear to you, it was one giant pair of white underpants that stretched from his knees to just below his nipples, and a novelty Santa hat with a flashing bulb on the end. And he came downstairs, and this is a quote, "Do you like?" I said, "I find it a bit challenging." He said, "I don't give a shit what you think." And he went off to eat some cheese. This is where it gets weird. I went out that night with some of the people in my hometown. Midnight, anticipating me coming home, my mother tells me he did this. He went upstairs in his panter outfit. He He went to my mother's sheet drawer, for she has one. He took out a double white sheet. He placed that over his head. He went out into their garden and he hid in a bush. With a view to giving me, his then 40-year-old son, a bit of a scare. Presumably, my mother is so sick of his shit, she decided not to tell him something that she full well knew, that on that occasion, I'd stayed over at a friend's house.
It's not strictly relevant, but I went out with a Greek girl once.
I can't imagine how this wouldn't be relevant to discussion of their economy.
Did you not have much money, Greg?
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it in.
Unlikely things to hear in a police station.
Right, listen up. We've got a new man starting. He's half man, half horse. It's Inspector Morse. Right, listen up. There's a giant fly attacking the station. I've called the SWAT team.
Unlikely things to hear in a science documentary.
And as the sperm swim towards the eggs, it's hard not to think that I've ruined this fried breakfast.
I was in the bank the other day, this is absolute truth, and a man had a shit on the floor. It was the most shocking thing I've ever seen in my life. He just shook it out
That is one hell of a deposit that he has made.
He probably normally does all of his banking on the internet, but he couldn't log on that day. Is it what Peter Andre says when he's asked what his daily routine is?
Our trains, our toilets, and our celebrities.
Is it what? High pitched but not Australian anymore.
Our trains, our toilets, our celebrities.
I went to a voice coach to get rid of my Australian accent, and I can't help thinking she's done something wrong.
I've been over in this country for a while, so I sometimes slip into both fucking accents. Our trains got them a six-pack. I don't miss my jeans. And then obviously the celebrities are making the money for the kids.
On the Peter Andre thing. Where it makes the money for the children. That was the bit that got me.
Is it?
No.
What three things were most complained about at the Queen's Jubilee?
If you can do that in a proper voice.
OK. But these things were most
Was it not a bit strange that they built that really elaborate, beautiful rowboat called, what's it called, the Gloriana?
Gloriana, my mate built that.
For the Queen, and yet... Was it just me who thought it's a bit weird that she's not on it? Because the only person who was on it was Claire Balding, as far as... Essentially, there's thousands of foreign tourists who think that Claire Balding is the Queen.
I saw the British Queen the other day. Looks like she can handle herself in a pub fight. Unlikely things to hear at an awards ceremony.
And predictably, for the 50th year running, the Rear of the Year has been won by the same man. Come on up, Chris. It's a Chris Rea joke.
And the award for best film, Kling film.
Oh, that was all right, though, was it? It's bullshit, Dara.
It's all politics, man.
And the best posthumously released rap record goes to Kim Jong for I Told You I Was Ill. Too late. Too late. And the winner of Rear of the Year goes to Chris Rea.
Okay. Our next topic is unlikely lines from a thriller.
I want to make you a vodka martini. You can't handle vermouth.
I would like to gently lift your horse's foot. You can't handle the hoof! And as his eyes gradually became accustomed to the shadowy darkness, he realised he was not alone in that room. Who is it?
It's me, Peter!
People make an awful lot about the pressure that kids are under, and I suppose they are, but speaking as an ex-teacher, that when it comes to exam time, there's far worse pressure on the teachers, because you have to spend sometimes 4 or 5 hours in those halls just walking up and down, and it's a recipe for insanity. I had no choice when I was teaching but to invent a game called Compile. It was just to see who could walk up and down the aisle the campest. We started off just sort of slightly mincing. Honestly, by the end of it, I was walking down a full aisle of children like this. And I knew it was time for me to leave teaching when I got to the end of one aisle. Genuinely, during an actual GCSE, a kid looked up at me and went...
So were you essentially voguing your way?
I'm not exaggerating. By the end of it, I was like...
The thing is, they want to make the exams harder, don't they? You know, but surely they're hard enough already if your teacher is walking up and down, camping it up.
Oh, no, I'm still qualified, technically. We'll have to cut this bit out.
Really? Is that your safety net?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Do you think anybody, having seen you in In-Betweeners, anybody's ever going to...
Well, you've always got a trade.
I was in an exam when I was at school. My mate, at the back of the hall, went... We were all waiting to leave. Someone at the back of the hall went... Meow. Mr. Mearden, the exam invigilator, went... And then someone else went... Meow. And then... Meow. From different parts of the hall, and it led to my favourite sentence I've ever heard come out of an adult's mouth, which was, all right, no one leaves until the meowing stops.
Unlikely things to hear on a property show.
Get that fish out of here, it stinks. You should never leave a place in the sun. This week on Grand Designs, my gran designs a house. It'll be shit. She's got terrible arthritis and not even a rudimentary qualification. Knock it down, tarmac it, fuck 'em.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear in a maternity ward.
I'd stay up that end and talk to your wife if I were you, Mr. Smith. It looks like Alien versus Predator down here. Oh, this isn't your first baby, is it?
Bad things to say at a job interview.
What can I bring to the job? A burning hatred of the West, a hook for a hand and a pilot's licence.
The 5-year employment gap, yeah. I was canoeing.
Right, I hope we can all be professional about the fact that I've just split up with all 3 of you.
I'm really only here because I'm hoping to slip on a wet floor and then fall off a ladder.
Yes, I've had a few changes of address, Wormwood Scrubs, Broadmoor, but for the last 3 months I've lived in your air conditioning.
I'm really into diversity. In my last team, I made sure that we had a black, a fruit and a fatty.
I have always wanted to work in a motel.
I'm telling them, Mother, I'm telling them!
This job would be a great opportunity for me to steal a shitload of stationery.
Hey!
I remember you from the dungeon. How you doing? It's me, Gimpy Terry.
I'm Gimpy Terry's mate.
Sum myself up in 3 words. I suppose it would have to be killer alien vagina.
What do you mean I'm underqualified to be a plumber? I'm 5 hours late. I've done a piss in your sink.
When can I start? Yesterday. But I can only work till today.
9 till 5, 9 till 5. My medication wears off at 3.
Modern day inventions have been in the news this week.
There's a bracelet they've invented that shocks you if you don't go to the gym when you said you were going to go to the gym.
Yes, it's called it's a wristband, a Pavlov wristband, and it gives you a motivational zap if you haven't. It tells you GPS-wise. It senses that you're in the gym or wherever you said you're going to be, or at the meeting you're supposed to be at, and it gives you an electric shock if you've not.
I don't think motivational and zap go together, really, do they?
It's basically a watch for masochists, isn't it? You know, it's like, oh, I've been a bad boy. Oh, I don't think I've quite been bad enough. Turn it up a bit more. Oh, I wonder if I put this on my penis, how this is going to work.
You wouldn't need to... Just make sure you're not down to 2%, you'll be all right.
You're saying if you go to the wrong website, it'll give you a little shock so you don't go on the website.
Yes, it
but
does
surely
do
if you
that.
go on a website that you shouldn't really be on, you just delete history, don't you? I mean, the tricky bit is not deleting history. The tricky bit is then going on all the innocuous websites afterwards so as it doesn't look like you've deleted history. That's the tricky bit, isn't it?
History seems to be very empty in this computer, because
Yeah,
I saw you on it all evening yesterday.
Yeah, I never touched the delete
I've never on it like that, yeah. Yes. Private browsing, Andy, private browsing. My favourite member of the Army Corps, private browsing. Good afternoon, private browsing. Are you on duty again? I certainly am, I shall be protecting you from any inappropriate sites. Private browsing, reporting for duty. Pants down, private browsing in here.
I shall protect your browsing while you shop for gifts for your wife. Because that is apparently what private browsing was invented for.
I love that. Oh, I mean, I've got private browsing on because I'm shopping for some gifts for my wife. Oh, really? You seem to be buying her pornography. Are you sure this is the gift she particularly wants? Private browsing. Reporting for
She
duty.
told me that her favourite film as a child was Double Fist and Piss.
Private browsing isn't happy with it. Private browsing has never had to work under these conditions before. He's mainly used for shopping for gifts.
Private browsing is retraining as an electrician.
Why did you leave the army? Oh, the things I saw. I saw some things
You
in
weren't
the
there,
army.
man.
You weren't there. You weren't there. You didn't see what I saw. The first casualty of war, my friend. Your private browsing, the first casualty of war is innocence. Private browsing. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what I'm doing like Benny Hill. Private browsing. At your service. Madam.
Benny Hill would do.
No, it'd be like, you know, what's it, the paper clip that would appear. It's even
You look like you're buying some pornography.
Small animated soldier came out and said, do you want to look at the porn? Private browsing can help you with that. I'm amusing myself here. It's the last record of a long summer, you know. Literally, I've got to enjoy this because in 3 days' time I'll be going, over the next 12 weeks, 20 candidates will be putting themselves around sugar.
Private browsing's going to get some visitors.
He's going to get some fucking hammering.
I think your penis is going to get some corporal punishment.
There'll be some major damage. And general recklessness. What do you, Trent and Colonel Abrams?
That was it.
Sorry, we'll bring it back.
Lost it.
Oh, stop. Current Labels is great, though. None of you remember... Do any of you even remember Current Labels? Anyway, he sang a song called Trapped. It was really good.
I can't get out. I'm trapped like a fool. I'm in a cage.
I'm like a man in a cage. I'm so in love with you, love with you, love with you. Sorry, did I even carry on with the show? Sorry. Yeah, whatever.
You boys have got a shared past we can only imagine about.
OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with as a subject. Let's spin the wheel. And subject is work.
The pollen count. That's a difficult job. Easiest job in the world, of course. Australian psychiatrist. G'day, g'day. How you doing? No worries. Next. I lost my job with lastminute.com for being persistently late. I lost my job as a cricket commentator for saying the words, "I don't want to bore you with the details." If they make it illegal to wear the veil at work, beekeepers are going to be furious. My wife, it's difficult to say what she does. She sells seashells on the seashore. Some people say the firefighters deserve more money, but apparently a poll was taken and they all fell through a hole in the floor. Sometimes I wonder what my grandfather would think of what I do. He spent his whole life in the kebab business, was buried with all his equipment. He's probably turning in his grave.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And the topic is travel.
I've just come back from Australia. While I was there, I learnt some Aboriginal words like boo, which means to return, because when you throw an ordinary meringue, I didn't think much of the film on the plane coming back from Australia. It turned out to be a 24-hour animation of a plane travelling from Sydney to London. Whatever you do, don't go and see Time to Destination. Italians, slanty little eyes. Sorry, italics. Just come back from Dartmoor, where I spent 3 days shooting at life-size models of Sarah Ferguson and Princess Diana. Got nothing against them myself, it's just they made it part of the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme. I've just come back from Russia. Always wanted to go out with a Russian girl, because in my experience, inside every Russian woman, there's another Russian woman.
Now we play a round called Your Grexits Are Here, Here and Here. This game involves James and Gary, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of the performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. The first subject is parties. Who wants to go in that? James.
I went to a surprise party recently for my friend Darryl. We were all in his living room, all of us, in the dark, hiding. His girlfriend turned to us all, she went, "Right, he's going to be here in a minute. When he gets in, everyone jump out, yell surprise, and that will be really surprising. I argued it'd be a lot more surprising if instead of making all that commotion, we all just stood there in his living room in the dark, just... When he comes in and turns the lights on, see how surprised he is then? It's a good party. I schmoozed. I'm good at schmoozing. Buttering people up. I'll give you some schmoozing tips, why not? A lot of people will tell you when you're schmoozing, have a good icebreaker, right? Break the ice. What they won't tell you, at the end of the conversation, unbreak the ice. You don't want anyone else swooping in, taking advantage of all the lovely little ice cubes that you created. So freeze it over again before you leave. So as you're leaving, just slide something under the fence, like death comes to us all, something like that.
So, Gary's left. Let's see what topic you have, Gary. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is childhood.
I didn't know what to get my little niece for Christmas, so I asked my sister what she's into. And apparently, at the moment, she's mad about frozen stuff, so I got her some oven chips and peas. They love that. Every Christmas day, we'd always have pigs in blankets. Or, as you probably call them, relatives sleeping in the spare room. Winnie the Pooh, possibly the most vindictive chapter in Nelson Mandela's autobiography. It was only after I shot the 5th zombie that I started to wonder why they were all carrying bags of sweets and ringing my doorbell. I've been trying to recapture my lost youth. I really must get that cellar door fixed. One time when I was a kid, I bought a chocolate bar. On the inside of the wrapper, it said, "You're a loser." I wouldn't mind if there'd been some sort of competition on. To make things worse, it was a boost. As a family, we couldn't decide whether to have Nana buried or cremated, so in the end, we let her live. My 13-year-old cousin's already started taking heroin. It's amazing, isn't it? They shoot up so fast these days.
Well done. Very good. I'm going to go to Lady. Everyone come back. The answer is £100 a day. What is the question?
Is it according to the Sun, how much does the average beggar make a day?
You're ruining by saying a day when it's already got a day in the answer.
Okay. Is it? Let me have another crack at that one.
Repetition of a day.
Ed's like
say it without a day and I'll watch.
What's happening?
Well, I was just about
to.
to.
Hang on a minute. Ed's turned into like the Microsoft paperclip. He's trying to write his letter. You're doing it wrong.
Are you doing a list?
According to the Sun, right, what does a beggar earn?
But we are apparently in the middle of a countryside crime wave. Have you seen this?
If I lived in the country, I'd be delighted if someone did a crime, because I'd be bored out of my mind. Thank God you've turned up with a shotgun to steal my rhubarb. Could you kill me on the way out?
Some bloke sold rhubarb from an allotment. You have to
tag it.
Just
Why don't
imagine,
they tag it?
imagine the phone call. Just some deranged. They've taken it. It's gone. My prize-winning marrow. Is there no God? You have. Surely you have to
just
feel
put rhubarb down his sleeves and then go.
Had I been there, well, you can't ever feel sorry for the. That's the lowest rung of criminality, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Finish. Just. I'm going to kill myself here.
Beautiful. Vintage Mock the Week. He brought up the subject just so someone else could do a joke on it. Surely he might have been working towards a punchline. You ignorant.
Jesus. I think can we get a higher chair for the joke umpire?
I have a feeling the Microsoft paperclip's taken some cocaine. But I like it.
That's great. Little animation of the paper go. Good, yes.
That's a really good letter.
The point I was going to make is, surely, right, fellas, but surely if you're a bank robber, you're sexy, you're dangerous, you can get diamonds for your lover. If you steal from allotments, what hope have you got, you know? You've got dirt underneath your fingernails, all you have to offer is broccoli. You know?
Hey, a woman who's going to have sex for broccoli is going to be dirty.
I was wondering if one of the reasons they were trying to steal...
Wouldn't that be... Hang on, sorry to interrupt you, Andy, but wouldn't that be the...
Frankly, I wish to go on the record and say I have now lost control.
OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a children's book.
Mr. Stubborn wouldn't leave. He was the elected leader of the Labour Party.
I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow you, Keith Vaz.
As Noddy looked at his new friends, Rampant Rabbit and Linda the Love Egg, he realised he was in a very different kind of toy town.
And all the animals of Buttercup Farm celebrated because Percy Pig was going to the slaughterhouse and they never had to listen to that whiny little bastard again.
And the beautiful woman was cursed to sleep for 100 years. And that's your defence, is it, Mr. Cosby?
She didn't do it. Don't boo her.
I'm Paddington Bear from Peru, said Paddington. And if you show me where the toilet is, I'll poo out this condom of cocaine.
It's the absolutely horrific follow-up to Netflix and Chill. Swallows and Amazons.
And was there a happy ending? Well, the prince did love massage parlours.
I will never tell you my name. You will have to guess my name, said Rumpelstiltskin, really holding up the queue at Starbucks.
From under the bridge came the voice of the troll. Wow, women can't be Ghostbusters, send!
Every day, Jack and Jill have to walk up a hill to fetch just one pail of water. But for just £5 a month...
Oh, it wasn't a giant peach after all, thought James, as he watched the big friendly giant put on his swimming trunks.
He pushed aside the clothes and there, at the back of the wardrobe, found a magical land of nipple clamps and lube.
There's an Indian in the cupboard. I think he's hiding from UKIP.
Oh, well, come on, I've been in this cupboard for bloody ages.
Who could we soon be seeing on the back of a £5 note?
Is it the Queen?
OK, depends which way you turn the note. You're absolutely right, but I think let's define that as being the front of the note, right? Who's on the other side of the note to the Queen?
Unlike the earlier question, I hope the answer isn't Hitler this time.
It's, at the moment, it's someone called Elizabeth Fry, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Who is, I think, Stephen's mother or the person who invented Turkish Delight.
Churchill is going to be on it, and there's been a bit of controversy because he's knocking off a lady, Elizabeth Fry. And if he was
Hang on, from the note rather than getting her.
That'd be a hell of a note, though, wouldn't it? Churchill knocking off Elizabeth.
You fold it a certain way, they start doing it.
This is the proposed £5 note with Churchill's face on it. Yeah, and mind you, critics of their being saying, well, that means there'd be no women on the notes, have been assuaged by a move to the...
No, but I think they should have a feminist icon on it, not least because it means it'll be very uncomfortable for men to go to strip joints. I just like the idea of them having to put Emmeline Pankhurst in a woman's G-string.
I just got to say, and I'm not a huge expert on them, but if you're putting fivers into a G-string, you're at like the most low-rent strip joint. It really is. Like they're gonna love you when you go, one of these, maybe. There's a £5 for you. I have some change. How much do I get for £4.20?
Did you see? They have to have a woman on the £5 note, because if they put one on the next one up, she'd become known as the tenner lady.
If you were governor of the Bank of England and it was your choice who goes on the notes, wouldn't you have a bit more fun than that when you go fiver? That's me in Menorca. There, tenner, that's me meeting Kofi Annan. 20, naked lady. How did that get in there? 50, me and Jeff Boycott.
That may list off some of the other prototypes that are included for the month, because this is an ongoing debate because they change them all the time.
Yeah.
For the fiver, the initial plan was to have this. And then the value rises steadily. For the tenner, obviously, we have this. Particularly jaunty face for 20 quid. That actually works. That actually shockingly does. That really means something.
That would stop you spending that. That's
There's no way
you go,
put that down.
No.
No, I have to keep that because you won't.
Put that back in your pocket.
Obviously, there are issues of nation and nationality. So this is the €50 note, which was the original. But actually,
you look a bit like Gorbachev with that fine.
That's very good. How was Brown's week?
Pretty tricky. To be honest, let's be honest, Brown couldn't get more unpopular if he recorded a song with James Blunt called I Like to Kill Puppies with Hammers.
Yeah, just get his cock out. John Prescott came out, didn't he? John Prescott said, well, he's irreplaceable. We have no one with the talent to replace Brown. Get a 10-pin. Yeah, I sorted out the credit crunch. I lowered interest rates. But where do you make the coffee?
Do you know, the Tories aren't going to... the Tories are loving this, presumably.
Yeah.
They can't even attack Brown at this stage because he's so weak. It would actually look like bullying if they tried to make any points again.
When they did the Glasgow East by-election, the Tories, they couldn't attack Labour, but what they wanted to do was to get as few votes as possible so that the SNP would beat Labour. So Cameron turned up in Glasgow and said, Scottish people are too fat because you drink too much. And it's all your own fault. So he just sort of turned up and went, hello, Scotland, you fat bastards. But actually, party political broadcast in Scotland was just Cameron with Kenny Dalglish in a headlock, punching him in the face with the slogan, remember, Scotland, we own you.
So amidst all these general calls for his head, what is Brown doing now?
He's on holiday.
Yes, he is.
He's gone to Suffolk.
Now, admittedly, by the way, we're not saying he immediately went on holiday. They're all on holiday now.
It's a scheduled vacation.
They attacked what he was wearing. Did you see that? They attacked. They're going, oh, you know, why is he not wearing shorts and a T-shirt? Yeah. What do they want him in, like a Borat-style mankini?
Sorry, but I think that's the best photo I've ever seen of Gordon Brown.
Absolutely.
I think he looks really cool.
I think he looks
like George Clooney.
What are we criticising them for? It's not like they can go and have a normal holiday. Yeah. You're not going to vote for someone who goes to Corfu and spit roasts an overweight club rep.
It's hard to have a normal holiday. Like, have you heard, even in Southwold, they're planning a human chain on the promenade to protest against Brown. Imagine that. How lame is that? Oh, I'm not going to the promenade, there's a human chain. I think in this country we're just really bad at, like, kicking off. There's a fuel crisis, and I watched it on TV, and he said, here in the queue, there's talk of riots. How can you have talk of riots in a queue? Right, we're going to riot, we're going to do it in alphabetical order. Oh, I nearly rioted out of turn, then.
I think that's a brilliant idea because I think holidays are supposed to be relaxing. They're just the most stressful thing in the world. Just leaving your home is so filled with stress because you suddenly feel that you have to unplug everything. You suddenly feel your television will blow up in your absence, despite the fact that no one's ever heard of a television blowing up when someone's holidaying. You sleep safe and sound at bed in night, not thinking my TV could blow up. And then before you go on, have you unplugged the TV? And you unplug everything in your home except the fridge. We trust the fridge. What is it about the fridge? You think the fridge wouldn't do this to me?
This game involves Nathan Caton and Ed Gamble, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first topic is home life. Nathan.
Yeah, I could talk about home life. I still live at home with my mum still. Thanks for the judgmental silence. Yeah, I live at home. My mates give me the most stick for it, because I'm the last one in my group of friends who still lives at home with my mum. They've all moved out, so they see me as a mummy's boy. And every time they see me, they're like, Nathan, what's wrong with you, man? Why are you still at your mum's, man? Are you embarrassed? Why are you still at your mum's? Why are you still at your mum's? It's like, I live in West London. Have you seen house prices? I'm not going anywhere, man. If anything, I'm looking at my mum thinking, when are you going to bloody leave? Clinging on, let it go, woman. She's gonna slap the black off me when she sees this. So, yeah, I like peace and quiet. Although, to be honest, at home, I'm not getting a lot of peace and quiet at the moment, mainly because of my mum and my stepdad. They got married quite recently. And I'm happy for my mum. You know, she found happiness. She deserves it. However, at the moment, they're going through that honeymoon phase where they're having sex all the time. Yeah, it is bloody disturbing, man. Because my bedroom is, like, right next door. So, like, every time they do it, I hear everything. Like, a few Saturdays ago, right? It's late at night. I'm about to go to sleep. From next door, I can hear my stepdad going, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, Lord, say something nasty, say something nasty, say something nasty. So I screamed out, you're not my real dad!
Thank you very much, Devin. OK, that leaves us with Ed. Let's see what topic you've been left with. And the topic is diet.
I hope this isn't just a hint that I need to lose weight. I've lost quite a lot of weight recently anyway. I've lost about 6 stone in the last 3 years. Cheers, guys, thanks. I mean, no. Too late, you went with the British reaction. Thank you very much. Couldn't give a shit, mate. Carry on. We don't... Stop showing off. We don't want to hear about it. Found myself in a bit of a nightmare situation recently. I went to the Middle East to do some gigs. Now, that bit was nice, that was lovely, but they put you up in a hotel where the food is all-you-can-eat buffets 3 times a day for 10 days. Now, this is a nightmare scenario for me because I cannot be trusted at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Sometimes I don't even remember the buffet bit. All I remember is picking up a plate and I'll wake up 6 hours later covered in rice and sauce. And I can't theme a buffet. I can't theme a buffet either. I won't pick up a plate and go, oh, I'll have some rice, I'll have some curry. Well done, Ed, you've made yourself an Indian meal. Won't do that. I'll get a plate, I'll get a spoon, and I'll run along the full line of trays, just scraping food from every nation onto it until I've got some sort of plate Pangea, just an unidentifiable mass, just Spanish food, Japanese food, Chinese food, Indian food, coffee, sushi, just horrible. Just wedge my face into it, everyone going, is that man all right? Don't look at me! I'm having a buffet! Just food from all over the world. My body for 10 days had no idea where I was on this planet. I went for a shit 3 days in, a UN flag came out.
The first subject is alternative medicine. Can I have a volunteer to talk about that? Andy.
Apparently, a lot of people trying to get into therapy at the moment, other people knocking it, saying, you know, oh, well, you should just lose your inhibitions, talk about your problems to your friends. I thought I'd try this. I talked about my problems to my friends for a whole hour. Lost my inhibitions, also lost my friends. I now tell my problems to taxi drivers. 2 advantages in this. 1, it stops the taxi driver from telling you his problems. And 2, it's amazing how much quicker you get to your bloody destination.
Well done, Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. Subject is the media. Who wants to come into that? Russell.
I'll do that. I'd see, you know, the way I like getting the news is Radio 5 Live. It's fantastic, 'cause it's just news and nutters, isn't it? They'll read out, like, that was the Pope's view on abortion, and then, hello, Felicity Puddleduck here, livid and ill-informed. I'd just like to say those harlots should give birth to their children aged 2 that charge you to national service. I'm off to bake a cake. And sat there listening, and then the next night, David, are you out of your mind? Cloning? Think it through. 2 versions of me. Want to go out and commit a crime? Who gets blamed for it? Me! I'm doing a 20 string. He's banging my wife. Where's the justice? And you sat there listening to these nutters, and then the most ridiculous story. A man in Bristol's found the face of Jesus on a crisp. And suddenly, I couldn't believe I opened up my frazzles. There he was!
Russell Howard. OK, the leaders are Hugh and Frankie. The next topic is sport.
Do you know, I've heard a rumour that horse racing may not be completely honest. It's unbelievable, isn't it? But how do you stop the corruption? Well, one solution may be to call horses something like mafia-backed second favourite. Because if everyone did that, everyone would be confused, no one would know who to bet on, and the whole thing would be fair again. And they're off, and the first to show is blatantly bribe, followed by mafia-backed second favourite. They're just ahead of Dope to the Gills, Mysterious Limp, and just behind them, Out for a Canter, and I'll Fall at the Fifth. And as they come to the fifth, I'll Fall at the Fifth has fallen. I'll Fall at the Fifth has fallen at the fifth in a magnificent display of cheating, and they're coming into the final furlong. Mysterious Limp is slowing, Out for a Canter is clearly struggling, but coming through strongly is mafia-backed second favourite, and as they cross the line, mafia-backed second favourite has won it, which is remarkable, seeing as he has no head. That's been left in someone's bed for tomorrow morning.
Well done, Hugh. Well done, Hugh. OK, Frankie, let's see what you've been left with. And it's environment.
Didn't that used to be an advert for mints? Ryanair getting a hard time from the environmental lobby because they've launched a £7 flight to New York. Although, as always with Ryanair, it does land slightly outside New York, in Dublin. It's a pity we can't harness more natural energy, isn't it? Pity we can't harness the power of British moaning. Oh no, that moaning-powered light bulb's on the blink again. Oh no, there it is, back on. Everyone complained about the floods, didn't they? I like storms. I like thunder and lightning. What I like to do during a storm is shag my girlfriend and pretend that we're taking part in the conception of the Antichrist.
Frankie Boyle, ladies and gentlemen. The first subject is relationships. Who wants to come in that? Reese.
It's a pretty exciting time for me at the moment. My girlfriend is currently planning the wedding. Sorry, not girlfriend anymore, is it? I keep doing that. It's not girlfriend. She gets so annoyed. My ex-girlfriend is planning her wedding. It's very hurtful for me to watch, but one of those things. Anyway, got a new girlfriend now, because that's how comedy works. Got a new one, and she's all right, my girlfriend. She's pretty good. She's not perfect. She's got her quirks and her tics, like she pronounces it espresso instead of expression. She's weird. And... relationships are about compromise, though, aren't they? We all know that. Like, she doesn't want to watch football, and I don't want to die alone, so we don't watch football. That's the yin and the yang. You give and you take. We're trying to keep it fresh, trying to keep it exciting, me and my girlfriend, you know, trying to keep it, you know, lively, try new things all the time. Like, she keeps talking about how she wants to have sex outside of the relationship. I don't know. Constant surprises, me and my girlfriend. She bought me a gift the other day. I went round to the flat. There was this gift. It was a word of the day calendar. Don't know if you've seen these. Pretty cool. Different word every day of the year. That is more than 100 words. Pretty cool. Favourite word for me so far from the calendar? Exponentially. Ah, what a word. Exponentially. Use it all the time now. In fact, I'd say, ever since learning the word exponentially, my use of the word exponentially has increased loads. I use it all the time. Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Ruth. That leaves us with Milton. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is transport.
So I got here by train. For the whole journey, there was a child opposite screaming. I could even hear him through my wolf mask. But it was a quiet carriage and people were getting annoyed, so in the end, we both stopped howling. And a stewardess got on the train. She looked at me and said, "Do you mind if I do my makeup on the train?" I said, "Well, it's still going to look like a train, isn't it?" She put her hand out and said, "I'm Amber." I said, "Yes, I think you've overdone the makeup." Anyway, one thing led to another, and, well, I'm going to skip a bit now. I was sitting in traffic the other day, and I got run over.
The first subject is jobs. Who wants to come in that? Glenn.
There were loads of jobs I wanted when I was a kid, whether it was starting up a Ouija board business with my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, or becoming a detective like Poirot or Craig David's girlfriend's parents in Fill Me In. I always wanted to be a movie star, you know, like a proper method actor like Eddie Murphy, because, you know, Eddie Murphy is so method and so committed that to get into the role of a vet in Dr. Dolittle, Eddie Murphy actually spent 10 years starring in lots of other shit films. It's so expensive everywhere you go if you don't have a job, you know? Like, I stopped getting haircuts after a while because there's hidden costs even when you get a haircut. Like, you think you're paying for just the haircut, and then at the end of the haircut, the hairdresser does that really annoying thing where they try and convince you to buy one of their mirrors and go, "Oh, what do you think of this?" Do you know what I say? I don't want to buy one of your mirrors. I want you to wash my hair at an angle I've otherwise never been at. So expensive everywhere you go. Like, I used to get the bus to work every day. Get this, £29 per bus journey. £29 per bus journey is insane. And not as insane as this woman who used to sit on the top deck every day with a microphone telling us where in London we were. £29 per bus journey, you can't even afford a roof. It takes 3.5 hours to get between Buckingham Palace and Westminster. Neither of which are places I work at. But, you know, for the first time in my life, I thought, I've got a job. I can buy things. I can buy things for my room. I can buy a chest of drawers and a desk lamp and a flashing neon halal sign for my window. And when you get a job, you think, oh, great, now I'm a proper grown-up. Next step, getting married, having kids, so I can be one of those proper adults who can call themselves on Facebook and LinkedIn a father to 2 amazing daughters, mother to 3 amazing sons. And I can't call myself that because I don't have those kids, and people don't really like it when I call myself a nephew to 3 gorgeous uncles.
OK, that leaves us with James. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is growing up.
Oh, I thought it was feet for a second there. You grow up in little bits and increments, in my opinion, bit by bit. I think the first time you become even a little bit of a grown-up is when your parents start letting you make your own squash. It's a big day, because until then, my mum was making all the squash all the time, and I don't want to offend Richard's watching, but it was the weakest-ass squash I've ever had. It was so bad, I'd have to squint it. Like, I guess that's got a vague orange tint to it. I'm trying to imagine what that tastes like as a flavour when I'm drinking it. Then you go around some other kid's house whose parents are a bit more laissez-faire. That squash knocks your socks off, it's incredible. I'd be like, whoa, you got access to this squash on the daily? He's like, yeah, but my parents don't pay me much attention and I'm worried they don't love me. It's like, I would leave it all in a heartbeat. For one sip of this squash, tell your dad I love him. Tell your dad I love him. I had to make a squash for my nephew recently. First time I made squash since I was living with my parents. I haven't done it in between because I'm an adult who doesn't have kids. And I know there are some adults watching who don't have kids who drink squash, but let me tell you, if you are the kind of person who drinks squash even though there's no kids in the house, you got bodies in the walls and heads in the freezer. I don't trust a single one of you. I was out of practice making squash and I had to make it for my nephew, let me tell you. I should have really, like, given myself a side view so I could see the glass proper, but I didn't. I'm 32. I got so close to the glass still, so I looked straight down at it. Just straight down. It was just a flat circle. I had no idea of depths or dimensions. I hoofed it in. I damn near gave that kid type 2. He was bouncing off the walls on Fun Uncle James's mega squash, losing his mind, going looping. At one point, he starts asking me weird questions. He goes, Uncle James, how come my lip skin is different to the rest of my skin? I was like, I've never thought about that, but now you've said it, not a day's going to go by when I don't think about it. Imagine if your whole body was lip skin. It'd take you hours to get ready in the morning. You'd be stood there with a chapstick. That's if you were the only one covered in lip skin. Obviously, you'd have a little chapstick. If we were all lip skin and that was just the whole human race, then there'd be like a giant chapstick in the living room, from floor to ceiling, rotating at the speed of a kebab spit. The whole family would line up like cats on a scratching post. In the morning. And then we'd walk out into a world where no one could shake hands for fear of becoming aroused.
Thank you very much, James. And that round,
The first subject is credit crunch. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Now, the government have got this idea that what they want to do is bankers who've lost their jobs, they want to retrain them as teachers, but in half the time it would normally take to train a teacher. I bet the teachers are happy about that, aren't they? Hey, these people were crap at banking. The chances are they're also going to be crap at teaching, and they'll be even crapper if they're trying to train them in half the time it would normally take. Yeah, these people, right, surely it'd be better to retrain them as bankers. That is what they were crap at.
Well done, Andy Parsons.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is eating out. Who wants to talk about that? Rod.
I ate out the other day. That's what I went to Cardiff Bay. It's all changed, you know. They've done it all up, and it's all European development money. And some of the places now have got tables outside. It's al fresco dining in Wales. Just taking the piss. I think I tried to have a Twixt on a bus stop a few years ago down there. It was too wet to eat. So everyone's pretending it's Madrid down there. You know, your soup bowl's filling up faster than you can eat it. I didn't get past my starters after 7 hours of soup and rainwater I gave up. Everyone's pretending it's Madrid down there. So your soup bowl's filling up. There's waiters with frosted eyebrows fighting their way to the tables going, spaghetti carbonara, spaghetti carbonara. I'll get another one, I'll get another one.
Rock'n'roll.
That leaves us with Tom and Russell. Let's spin the wheel. The next subject is extreme sports. Who wants to come in on that?
No,
Tom.
why not? I went skydiving. I don't know if anybody here has ever gone skydiving, but if you haven't gone, I'll tell you what they do. They give you a couple lessons, then they bring you up into the plane, and you're not allowed to jump out of the plane on your own because it's too scary. So what they do is they hang you off the wing of the plane, which isn't scary at all. And the guy inside, he yells, "Let go!" 3 times. Then he gets mad. Starts kicking your hands. 'Cause I'm not letting go. We all skydive different. I skydive with a big plane in my hand.
OK, Russell, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. Topic is families.
Well, families are quite peculiar. Mine are wonderful. I went to Brighton the other day, and my uncle was like, watch out, it's full of gays, and they'll get you, they'll get me. They're gays, they're not ninjas. Not gonna... I'm so glad that I was raised by lunatics. I remember one of the weirdest stories I had happen to me when I was little. I was 8 years old. I was in Lanzarote. I just put some rubbish in a bin. I came around a corner and I was confronted by 2 werewolves, right? Turned out it wasn't werewolves, it was my mum and dad. Ah, ha, ha, isn't it hilarious? Not really, I've shat myself, right? But I've only recently found out they did not buy the wolf masks in Lanzarote. They bought them in England, which is beautiful and chilling at the same time. Look what I've got, David. Couple of wolf masks. You know, you don't like wolves, don't you? Captain Shitterbrick next door. Well, let's put him on now, scare him. Can I hold you just there, David? Can I wait until we're in a foreign country, get him really out of his comfort zone, and then properly shit him out?
Families. Well done, Russell. This is where we test our performance stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge to produce the funniest stuff. That is just against nature. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. OK, the first topic is Britain. Who wants to come in on that?
Yes, I love Britain. Do you? Kind of. I think Britain's amazing, but I think we're quite hard on ourselves. Like, if you go to America and you do shows, they always get this thing where you go on stage in America, like in Chicago, and you say, oh, so what's Chicago like? And they go nuts. They go, woo, yeah, Chicago, woo, 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 for about a day. And then you come back over to Britain and you go to somewhere like Birmingham and you say, oh, so what's Birmingham like? And they all go, oh, it's a bit shit. I live in London, in Britain. I live in Kentish Town, which is lovely because it is actually like a Kentish town. Unfortunately, the town in Kent it's like is Maidstone, which is crap. North London's quite posh, though, because there's a hairdresser's near us, which is called the Elysian Fields Hairdressers. Oh, it's where heroic hair goes to die. I love it. You know, I used to live in South London. The hairdresser was called We're Gonna Cut You, Slag.
Thank you, Ashley Porter. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is sport. Who wants to come in on that?
So, hey, Freddie Flintoff, how drunk would he have been on Monday night? That's all I've got on that one. We have got a great new British hope for our sport, though. Laura Robson, Britain's tennis, 15 years old, both her parents Australian. We don't mind immigration when they've got a bit of talent. We object to people sneaking into Britain on a rubber dinghy unless they can do it really bloody quickly.
Thank you very much, Andy Parton. OK, that leaves us with Greg and Russell. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is education. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I remember school being fun. I think my favourite moment ever in life, pretty much. There was a girl in our school called Lydia. She was trying to make her calculator work. She was repeatedly knocking it against a desk. And after about an hour, our teacher went, Lydia! How would you like it if I banged you against the desk? It's the greatest day of school. But now it's more sinister, isn't it? Like, they're now talking about teaching 5-year-olds sex education. Of course, people are very angry. It's disgusting! It's too much! Like, calm down. Not going to teach them technique. Right, this is how I like to do it, kids. That's right. Kids aren't going to run home, put dolls around a toy car and go, look, Mum, they're dogging, they're dogging. It's going to be some poor teacher trying to talk to 5-year-olds about love. Can you imagine a harder job? Hello, children. I'm here to teach you about love. Good luck with that, mate. I'm off to lick that tree.
Thank you very much, Russell. OK, Greg, let's see what topic you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is the human body.
I have to tell you that being a tall man in this country is tedious, ladies and gentlemen. Tedious, because in small towns throughout the country, there are a series of jokes prepared by the locals on our behalf. I'll be walking innocently into a local pub or down the street, and I'll get several jokes. One of the jokes might be this. just to give you an example of the level we're talking about. Another joke might be, what's the weather like up there? It's freezing. There's a massive climate change in this amount of space here, you toothless buffoon. Probably the most offensive example of this is genuine. I was at a cash point and there was a little old woman in front of me at the cash point tapping away with her claws and I'm sorry, I'm just quite angry about this. And when she'd finished, bless her heart, she turned around and she hadn't seen me. She turned around and she went like this. Oh! Maybe not that sexually. She said, oh! And then with no hint of irony at all, she asked me this question. Would you like a job at my house, changing light bulbs? No. No, old woman. I have plans of my own. Now, get out of the way of the cash point. 20 minutes is long enough for you to have worked out that that's a Tesco club card.
Thank you very much, Greg. First subject is sleep. Ebra.
Does anyone here sleep with someone who snores? Yes? Well, I envy you, because I lie awake next to someone who snores. My wife snores terribly, and part of what keeps me awake is lying there going, how do you sleep through this? I can't sleep through it, I'm only next to it. The noise is inside your head. And how come you can sleep through that? But the sound of me making a sandwich in our kitchen, that wakes you up. There is no way me making a sandwich makes more noise than you're making right now. She snores so... She said the cutest thing to me one time, though. She says, do I not sound like a kitten purring? Bless. No. You sound like a cat drowning in porridge. If I had a kitten made that noise, I'd put it down. Apparently she had her nose broken a couple of times when she was a kid. Didn't teach her, she's still bleeding snoring.
Thank you very much, Ed. OK, let's spin the wheel again. Subject is health. Andy Parsons.
With flu jabs now, what they do, don't they, is they put a little bit of flu into you to help you combat the flu. I was thinking by that argument, surely you should be able to have the odd cake to help you fight obesity. Because let's face it, you can do too much exercise, can't you? You know, did you see Madonna's arms? They didn't look right, did they? It's like half human, half Terminator. Of course, that's the problem when you're always picking up small African children going, no, no, no.
Thank you very much, Andy. OK, that leaves it with Russell and Jack. Let's spin the wheel. The next subject is television. Who wants to come into that? Jack.
I get very frustrated with pretty much everything on television. I find adverts at the moment particularly annoying, like the banking adverts, because they're trying to portray bankers as being nice people. Like, they've got this one at the moment for, like, a mobile bank that travels around the country, and you walk in and there's your friendly local bank manager acting like a hairdresser, like, nattering away. You know, you walk up to the till, it's like, oh, how was your holiday? I went camping. Oh, why did you go camping? Because you lost all of my money! Decided the only option I've got is just to not watch TV at all, because everything annoys me. And I've got quite a lot of people that pressure me into doing that as well. Like my dad, he's quite old-fashioned. He's always saying, you don't need to watch television. You should do other things, better things, more edifying things. Don't watch TV, Jack. You should read. Read the great novels. They're entertaining, they're educational. Even read the Bible. The Bible is engrossing. It's enthralling. The stories of Jesus, they're encapsulating, they're invigorating. I'm like, no, Dad. If I wanted to be entertained by 12 people sat round a table trying to impress some bearded Jewish know-it-all that thinks he's some kind of deity, I will watch The Apprentice.
Thank you very much, Jack Whitehall. OK, Russell, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. That's fitness.
Could have been camel toes. Now, I was in the gym the other day. I was in a locker room, and a 5-year-old boy ran in and jumped into a locker. Now, sometimes you know you're just going to have an incident, right? You could hear him in there giggling, like, and you knew what he was going to do. He was going to jump out and scare his mates, because his mates appeared seconds later, like, where's Stephen gone? Where's Stephen? He was there a minute ago. This is most irregular. And he waited, not for his mates, but for 3 huge naked men. It was fantastic. They were kind of walking past, and this little kid leapt at those men like a cat with rabies. It was incredible, right? Just from nowhere, the noise they made, I've never heard a noise like it. They sounded like a tugboat getting molested. His long-suffering dad is in the showers, obviously heard this and went, that'll be my bloody boy! Ran back, confronted this glowing hellbeast and went, Stephen, what have I told you about acting up in public? And this little kid cut his dad down with one very simple sentence. Dad, your willy's moving? You're just there going, oh, the world is a better place.
Thank you very much, Russell. At the end of that round, the points go to Ed and Jack.
The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a kids' TV show.
Thunderbirds are go! Is what I shout at orgasm.
No, Lala, I'm afraid you're not Teletubby, you're Teleobese, and if you're not careful, you'll get telediabetes.
Don't ask your parents' permission before you phone. Those dicks will only say no.
And on today's Horrible Histories, a 1970s episode of Top of the Pops.
Right, young Womble, today we're going to destroy the Wimbledon Tennis Championships and get rid of all this dog poo from the common. Get yourself a golf club.
Well, if you're not having an affair, whose square pants are these?
Well, things are hotting up in Balamory. Archie's been radicalised.
Well, Miss Hooley, I'm wondering if I'm going to be regretting this job in 14 years.
Mr. Tumble, you're 43. Grow up, for fuck's sake.
Johnny's dad said, do your revision. So Johnny left school and entered the Eurovision Song Contest.
Daddy Bear said, somebody's been sleeping in my bed. And Mummy Bear said, it was probably your whore, Linda.
Just 3 more blobs of glue, and that's a massive cock and balls there.
And the janitor would have got away with it too if it hadn't been for the photographs he'd taken of those pesky kids.
Yodel delivery driver Pat. Yodel delivery driver Pat. He's thrown your parcel in a hedge.
And now it's time for our resident band of children violinists. Please welcome the Kitty Fiddlers.
And now, Peppa Pig is a recipe on Saturday Kitchen.
Let's see what's happening over at the Magic Roundabout. Yep, more dogging.
And just remember, your Blue Peter badge can get you in free at over 200 strip clubs and lap dancing establishments.
Look, Iggle Piggle, it's the Ninky Nonk. Oh, the Nink... Olivier said my Hamlet made him weep like a little girl.
The Large Hadron Collider in CERN in Switzerland starts on Wednesday.
Or to give it its proper name, the Black Hole Machine.
They've taken all necessary precautions.
No, they haven't.
They haven't taken the necessary precaution of not doing it, though, have they?
There's a 1 in 50 million chance that it could create a black hole which will end the universe. Now, I would argue that if there's any chance of that, like if my kid said to me, "Can I get a train set up in the loft?" I would go, OK. If could I get a train set that might end the universe? I'd say, what about a bike?
So you'd prefer it if they got the protons and then cycled them round the tunnel on a bicycle?
The thing is, I'm sure they're going to find out some interesting things about protons, but I would add, I don't give a fuck.
I think if the...
I think they've taken all the necessary safety precautions,
It's
right?
it might create a tiny black hole, right, which is the worst type of black hole, because we'll all get drawn slowly towards Switzerland. And every week this desk will be like 2 feet further over there. And then eventually we'll just look one week and Russell have been replaced by just the jaws of infinity.
What was that directed at me, Frankie? The jaws of infinity. I thought we were going to see a cow and chocolate and we'd be in Switzerland, but all of a sudden my eyeballs are sucked out of my face. Just for sitting nearest to the audience.
What? You thought
Why
that...
am I the first to go?
You're near to Switzerland. We tilted it around during the show so that you'd be the one closest to Switzerland.
Well, this is bullshit now.
No one's going to die. It's basically...
He just told me I'm going to die on telly. He looked at me and said I was going to...
My God, I hope you have the cameras rolling when it happens. That'll be incredible. Just him going, "Wah!" and clinging on to the desk, right? While we hammer at his fingers. Go! Go proudly! No. Go, Russell! Go, Brett.
You'd be like that. There's more space on scenes we'd like to see.
It's not going to work, though, is it? Because what they're looking for is a thing called the Higgs boson.
Yes.
Is that right? Which
Yes,
is
it
a
is.
subatomic particle, which is, lasts for a million trillionth of a second. It's incredibly small. Most of the scientists I've ever met would have trouble finding a clitoris. They're not going to find that.
Well, OK, they don't find the Higgs boson by just rooting around and checking on their desks. I'm sure there's a Higgs boson.
Are you saying that's your method for finding the clitoris? Well, I'll root around, and if it's not there, I'll check the desk.
With that, we offer the points to Frankie, Hugh and Michael! And it's nationality. Who wants to give me that? Katherine.
Hello. I'm of mixed heritage, actually. I talk like a Canadian, but I tolerate my partner's drinking like an Irish girl. I travel a lot, from London to Ireland, and anyone who's flown Heathrow to Cork knows that on your way to the plane, they have signs reminding you how many chances you've got left to get drunk. They're like 6 licensed shops, 2 shops, 1 shop. It's like, what? Before I board an aircraft filled with wine to get to the land of Guinness? And the final shop is right at the gate. And in that shop, there's a sign that says, no ID, no sale. And I'm like, this is an international airport. How about no ID? How'd you get on the plane? It is in the boarding lounge, If a terrorist manages to sneak through levels of security at the world's busiest international airport, give him a pint.
Thank you very much, Katherine. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with, Milton. Let's spin the wheel. Transport is the topic.
So I've got my own private jet. The rest of the jacuzzi belongs to my mum. If you've got a sat-nav, don't put the name of the company you're visiting into it. I tried to take some mayonnaise back the other day. I ended up in Helmand Province. I mean, I've got a car, but there's nothing I like better than making a bonfire on the passenger seat. driving up and down, opening and shutting the electric sunroof and pretending to be a steam train. My uncle, he was a taxi driver, but then one day he left home without any indication. So recently, I was fell walking in the Lake District. Well, it's not quite true. Recently, I fell walking in the Lake District. I was going to tell someone, but the pillar box was full of sugar puffs.
Thank you very much, Milton. OK, getting that round. Prize Adrian. Come on, sit back up. In other news, who is a big hit with Japanese women?
Japanese men.
No, actually, surprisingly.
Is it the gorilla that's really fit?
There's a gorilla. Yes, it is. There's a fit gorilla. There's a gorilla who moved from Australia to Japan in 2007 and has attracted a lot of admirers among young Japanese women who describe him as too handsome. He's referred to as an ikemen, which is slang for handsome guy. I've got a slightly creepy story, but let's see, his name's Shabani. I mean, all you need is like a slogan that goes, "Which one of us is really in a cage?" You know, this is another one of them looking, you know. I mean, this is a good-looking gorilla, you know. I dare you to swipe left, write that underneath, and then you're... There's another one of them here, look.
He's got some junk in his trunk.
It's not necessarily sexually attractive, but it would be nice to be held by him.
Like, if I had to have sex with an animal, I'd have a flamingo. I'm a leg man.
You particularly like when one leg is like up underneath the...
Yeah, it's a bit saucy, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like,
oh,
come and see where my other leg is.
Put one leg.
I know where your leg is, don't you worry about that. Marshy.
Wet. You ain't got one leg, you slag.
Can I just say we're totally objectifying this gorilla, and I'm loving it.
It's like he's about to go, yes, Sigourney Weaver was wonderful to work with, yeah.
Part of my craft is I'm the weaver of stories, I'm the teller of tales. Kiana and points go to Rob, Tiff and Andy! Unlikely letters to television channels.
Dear Channel 5, your recent documentary on dyslexia was insightful and sensitive. Please show The Boy with Shit for Brains again.
As a terrorist, I have been watching Countdown with interest. It is rubbish. Nothing happens.
Dear News 24, go to bed.
Dear Babe Station, have you actually read the trade's description of that?
Dear Bravo, I don't quite know how to put this, but well done.
Dear Channel 5, isn't it time you just called it a day? No one will mourn.
I'm writing to thank you. On Sunday afternoon, while I was watching television with my wife, I was urged to press the red button. I did, and my wife had her first orgasm in 40 years.
Dear Al Jazeera, please bring back your hit sitcom, Men Behaving Baghdadly.
Dear History Channel, the Nazis were bad. We get it.
Dear Hallmark, roses are red, violets are blue, your cards are shit, and your channel is too.
Dear Channel 4, why don't you pricks book me for any of your shows?
Dear Sky Sports -1, thank you for showing the Grand National. I won £100,000.
Dear Points of View, Who should I complain to if I think points of view is shit?
Dear Fiver, if I give you a tenner, will you please stop broadcasting?
Dear Channel 4, why not liven up Deal or No Deal by putting a nail bomb in one of the boxes?
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Russell and Andy.
The first subject is education. Who wants to go on that? Ramesh.
Well, as a vegan, I wanted to supplement my son's education, so I'm helping him to learn to read. That's one of the things that I'm doing, and helping your child to read is one of the most magical and rewarding things that you can do as a parent on day one. After that, it's one of the most frustrating, annoying, I'd rather punch myself in the face repeatedly than ever do this again activity that you can ever do. And let me tell you why. They do not care about making sense. Right? They'll just read all the easy words. When they get to one they don't know, instead of trying, they'll just look at the picture and just throw something random into the sentence without any regard for what effect that has on what they're saying. And I'm supposed to not get angry. I'm supposed to not get angry when my son goes, Jack went strawberry? How could that be what it said? How could it be Jack went strawberry? What are you talking about? What would that even look like? How could that be what it said? Tell me. I'll tell you what, you think that's what it said, you go strawberry now. Go on. No, go strawberry. That's what you think it said. Stop crying, go strawberry. Go strawberry. Why didn't you do it? Go kiwi then, I don't give a shit. You're not doing it, are you? I'll tell you why not, because it doesn't make any bloody sense. My wife thinks I'm overreacting.
Thank you very much, Robert. Middle-class people don't want to self-identify as middle class. They, middle people just want to be, because it's more authentic. Where it's, middle class is such a bland state of affairs.
It's not bland, is it? Have you tasted some of their food? What kind of flavours going on in there? It's not bland being middle class.
Have you mistaken middle class for Indian?
The naan's incredible. We call them nans. We was in Birmingham the other week doing a gig and you had cream on top of your goulash.
No, listen.
Hey.
Hang on, why are you eating goulash? Goulash is... it's meat in goulash.
I'm not that much of an idiot. It was
vegetable goulash.
Can I have a beef goulash, but hold the beef? Rob and I had an argument, a discussion about the fact that I thought it had combined so much with the goulash that it rendered the situation untenable. But Rob said, "You could have scooped that out, mate. I don't know what's wrong with you." And Scott's going, "It's not vegan. It's eating cream over here. I can't believe it. I haven't even heard of it in Lewisham."
Oh, we're such great mates.
It's a natural banter, which is why we put 5 people in between the two of you. The first subject is education. Who wants to come in that? Ramesh.
I used to be a teacher, actually. I was a maths teacher. I wasn't a very good one. But as I found out, it doesn't actually matter. You can get away with it for quite a while. But the problem is... With Ofsted coming, you've got an Ofsted inspector in the back of your class. I've got to make sure I'm doing my job properly. Yeah? Got learning outcomes up on the board, Pythagoras and trigonometry flying all over the shop, knocking it out the park. Kid in the front row's got a question, I'm straight in there. Yes, Timothy? How can I help you? And then he'd go, why are you being weird? Right. So then I've got to convey to Timothy, without the inspector realising, that I am going to bloody end him, right? Because of political correctness, all textbooks have got to be multicultural nowadays, which means that every single question in every single maths book has got to have a white kid and a black kid in it. Or a white kid and an Asian kid in it. Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't have wanted to hang out with a kid of another colour. If every time I met up with him, you wanted to do bloody maths. I don't know. The questions you get in these textbooks are amazing. You get questions like, Philip thinks that the answer is 8. Dilip thinks that the answer is 10. Which one is correct? And then a kid would put his hand up and he'd say, I think Dilip's correct. And I'd say, why? And he'd say, oh, because Asian kids are bods, aren't they? We had uniform at the school. I agree with uniform. The problem is they're very strict about it. We had a sixth form. Talking to sixth form lads about what they're wearing, absolutely not a problem. Got no issue with that. Talking to sixth form girls about what they're wearing, something I felt a lot less comfortable about. But what I actually found was if I just looked at them for long enough, they soon covered themselves up. I've actually just started pretending I'm Costa Rican. I will switch to whatever I need to, you know. In the cricket, I'm very Sri Lankan at the moment. During the Ashes, I pretended I was Aborigine. Like, I don't care. I will go wherever the results take me. He's basically made it fun for the Tories, because they could say anything they want. He's unelectable, so you can do whatever the hell you want, do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to kill everyone. Yeah, but I'd rather that than vote Ed Miliband. There continues to be heavy shelling here. Ramesh Ranganathan at the peanut factory. Is it what the minimum prison sentence should be for anybody that takes their shirt off in the summer? I find it unacceptable. I remember, like, when it used to be hot days, my dad would open up the curtains first thing in the morning and say, the white people are going to get naked today.
The first subject is going out. Who wants to come out? Ramesh.
I don't like going out. Don't like going out because I don't look as good as I used to, and I worry about it. I've put on weight, and I think, oh, I don't look all right. And then I think, hold on a minute, I'm married. I don't need to look good. I just need to look better than the prospect of single parenting. And I think I've got that in the tank, you know what I mean? I went out a while ago, and I was out with my friends. We're all in our 30s. We look like awful tribute acts of us in our 20s, and there's guys there, they're in their 20s, looking ripped and amazing, and I'm thinking, are they going to make us feel bad? Are they going to make us feel awkward? Are they going to make us feel like we're stepping on their turf? And the truth is, they ignore us. Of course they do. Why would they care? See a pride of lions hunting gazelle, they're not going to give a shit when a three-legged hyena rocks up, are they? Comes to the end of the night, this absolutely gorgeous girl walks up to me, does not break eye contact for a second. I said, hello, this is happening. Can phone my wife, tell her I've still got it. The girl walks up to me, says to me, no word of a lie, taxi for Rachel. Just this morning, we confiscated a bag of cannabis, and now we're asking all students to come forward if they've got Pringles. Have you had an accident that wasn't your fault and has ruined your life? Next time, use Durex.
The topic is animals.
I'm into animal rights, actually. I recently watched this film, Blackfish, which is about this killer whale that ate 2 of the trainers at SeaWorld, killed 2 of the members of staff at SeaWorld. And it's an interesting film, but I do have some issues with it. You know, one of the things they say in the film is we call them orcas. Some people call them killer whales, but these are beautiful, beautiful orcas. We call them orcas. This one killed 2 people. Right? That's a killer whale, right? He lost the right to be called orca when he slaughtered 2 people, yeah? And people are surprised by what happened. People are surprised by what happened. They say, oh, my God, I can't believe what's happened at SeaWorld. I can't believe that one of the killer whales tried to eat one of the trainers. Listen, that's not a surprise. I'm a vegan, right? If you make me dance with a sausage on my nose for long enough, eventually I will try the bloody sausage, right? I don't think that's a surprise. And the film is presenting obvious stuff. I was talking to an intelligent person about blackfish. He said to me, I can't believe what's going on at SeaWorld. It's disgusting. I can't believe they kidnapped them from the wild. How else did you think that they got them? Did you think there was some sort of recruitment drive? And the thing is, you know, is they want to set this whale free. They want to set Tilikum free because he killed 2 people. Because he killed 2 people, they want to set him free. I mean, that's the opposite of crime and punishment, isn't it? I mean, people say because he lives in such horrible conditions. Listen, people live in horrible conditions. We don't let them off for doing stuff. You don't say, oh, Derek here killed 6 people. We can't do anything about it because he lives in Hastings.
I understand that because, like, if the cows farting is causing the problem, then surely eating them is the solution. I mean...
And the topic is parenting.
I'm a parent. You know, we had our first child, and our first child is such a lovely kid. You know, he always says please and thank you. He's such a wonderful, wonderful little boy. I said to my wife, do you know what? I think we might have mastered parenting. I think it's just about setting clear boundaries and being consistent. The second one, feral. Right. Like, I love him, but what a prick this kid is. Like, I love him, but what an unacceptable human being. Like, I love him, but I don't like him. You know, that's... Like, I'm going to have to say to him one day, you're a mistake. And not, like, in the way that the contraception went wrong. Like, the decision to have you was a mistake. Sometimes I want him to get hurt. There you go, I said it. Now, listen. I don't mean really hurt. I just mean a little bit. You know, because he doesn't listen, this kid. When I say to him, don't do that, dude, because if you do that, you're going to get hurt. And then he does it, and he doesn't get hurt. That pisses me off, right? Because that is life telling him that I'm full of shit. This kid's running with scissors with no consequences. Do you know what I mean? I do think it is a weird strategy, because what you're saying is we're going to make it OK for you to park by a broken meter. So, you know, a solution seems to be fix the meters. Do you know what I mean? Rather than make it OK to park next to broken ones. It's like saying, well, you know, all the trains are late and we know they never arrive, you know, when they're supposed to. So what we've decided to do to tackle the problem, we've decided to abandon the concept of time. So nobody's ever going to be late for anything. We plan to replace the glass ceiling for women with something much easier to clean. Nick Clegg finally thinks he's stepping up to the plate. Like, Cameron's on the phone. Listen, my phone reception is a nightmare. We've got an important situation. Nick, I need you to step up. I need you to do the right thing. Can you get in touch with Vodafone and get this sorted out? Russell Crowe stars as Bob Marley. The accent's so offensive you won't even care that he blacked up. As I report from my 6th day here in war-torn Syria, I think the lesson learned is that I should never have called my producer a wanker. A UKIP film presentation, 101 damn Asians. Newark is actually an anagram of Nigel Farage's nickname.
What? Cron? I love the way that they clapped at different times, just depending on how quickly they got it.
There is an element of chase going on there.
Come on. Well, I'm really sad to be leaving you as your maths teacher. I've got no idea why I've been made redundant, because I've always felt that I've given 110%. I think, you know, actually we should be talking about immigration now, because it's a good thing that he's put it on the table, because, you know, a lot of Europeans are coming into the country and taking jobs that my parents worked so hard to steal in the 70s. It's actually a very exciting game they play, where they just sit there for hours and see which one tries to rehydrate themselves first.
Because when... I mean, again, speaking as a vegan, but my problem with it is...
Are you a vegan? Listen, get on board, all right? Jesus. You guys disgust me. Yes. You cheese and meat-eating pricks.
Anyway, please, every part of the show, preface every topic we do with, as a vegan.
My point is, Dara, if I may...
Pizza!
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what, pizza, nightmare, right?
You've missed the main ingredient.
I love pizza, ordered a pizza, right, with no cheese, right? No cheese.
Yeah.
What I didn't realise is not only does cheese add flavour, it also has an adhesive quality. What I got was a box of bread with some vegetables in the corner of the box. The public have spoken, and they said that I'm a knob.
We're not interested, we're not engaged. I think they should combine the election of the leader of the European Commission with the Eurovision Song Contest. So,
How is combining two things that we're not interested in going to make it more interesting?
The issue that I have is that, you know, UKIP sort of attracting votes from sort of the elderly. You know, that this is sort of who are increasingly supporting them. And the thing is that you get worried because you think, well, I've sort of had more racist experiences from elderly people, and you can sort of understand how this comes about. But I actually think that elderly people should just be allowed to be racist because, like, they've got enough shit going on in their lives, like, without having to re-educate themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've pissed myself, I've got 2 false hips, and now I can't say darky. Like, it's... I'm quite happy to make him feel comfortable, bump into an elderly person, just give him the old wobble head to make him feel all right.
We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Ed, which category would you like?
Sport, please.
OK, the category is sport, and the answer is 33. What is the question?
Is it how many pages in a Game of Thrones script are just the word tits in massive letters?
What is the emoticon for 2 women in a queue?
Is it the number of women I slept with in my 20s plus 32?
Is it how many children you have to qualify for a family ticket at Mormon Centre Parks?
Is it at what age did I finally accept that I would never play the Milky Bar Kid?
You really want to do that? Dream diet.
I've got 3 years to go.
Finally accepted.
Okay. How many cans of Foster's can you drink and still be below under the limit? How can...
That's the way you wouldn't want to say it if you'd actually been stopped by the police. And how much have you had to drink? Well, how many Fosters can you have?
I think you'll find
limit, actually.
I am below under the limit. Not above.
Is it after how many miles did one of the proclaimers ask if they were nearly there yet?
Surely they go, why are we both going? You're the only one who's going to shag her. Why am I joining you on this 500-mile journey?
You promised me she had a friend. Is that right?
Is it... if a minicab says it's 5 minutes away, how minutes...
Oh!
Don't talk bad about Uber.
Well, here, the minicab industry has long fingers, isn't it? You don't learn that today.
Well, from now on, I'm taking a black cab. There is a little bit of glass. Look,
it's
a
a
bit now.
Oh, really?
Sue! Injuries at work!
Oh, my God. Have you been injured? You probably did the voiceover for those ads. Why did you ask yourself?
I had 33 Fosters and then the light exploded!
Now, I'm going to check with you. What do you think? They're happy.
They're happy.
Oh, they're happy.
Yeah, brilliant, yeah.
Carry on. So easy for you to say. All right, OK. We're being shelled here.
Is it how many people are going to be sacked after that light explosion?
Let me get on with it.
The next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topic and Imogen asks them to tell me what's happening. So, teams, who is this and why were they in the news this week?
Is he saying, in Greece, we play air bouzouki?
I think he's probably saying, that referendum, Alexander, that was a pointless answer.
I think he's saying, I know we're in a lot of debt, but at least can I just have some water?
Come on, people. Come on.
I think he might actually be saying the worst thing is that the Germans have made me stand in this top hat.
It looks a bit like Angela Merkel's playing the piano while he sings. Sing for me.
This is how you should earn back the money.
Yeah. Sing it again.
He looks to me, he actually looks at me, and even though Angela Merkel is looking at him, he looks at me like he's just got there. I'm just like, I'll give that a few minutes about it. That's all this Greek food I eat.
Or he's just going, sorry, can anyone pay for the cabbie? He's just waiting outside.
Hurry up, meter's running.
He'll explode a light if you don't pay him. Nice to see Angela Merkel letting her guard down, though, isn't it? Okay.
Come on, she's chilled out. She's dressed as a minion.
Very ironically, Angela Merkel dresses a minion. Yes, after almost 17 hours of talks in Brussels, a tenuous agreement between the EU and Greece has been reached. A long, all-night thing, all-night thing. The tensest moment, by the way, of the all-night thing is when they went, oh, my God, I'm exhausted. Could somebody get me a sugary drink? And said, yeah, but that's another 20% of the tax.
You'll never be free of this. They were all-night talks, and they kept referring to them in the papers as marathon talks, which really just hammers it home for the Greeks. That's a big cruel irony there.
Yeah,
exactly. Marathon talks, because the Battle of Marathon, the Greeks won.
They did. Well, it wasn't them, was it? It was two bits of... It was Athens versus Sparta, wasn't it?
It was... They were versus the Persians.
Oh, OK, they were versus the Persians.
Yeah, at the Battle of Marathon.
I'd be on that team. It's boring over here.
Really is. Who can tell me what's going on here?
Is that Barack Obama playing pretzel buckaroo?
Or is Barack shaking the hand of the very pretzel that choked George W. Bush?
It's like a German version of Come Dine With Me. Angela has broken all the plates and is serving the pretzels on a mug tray.
Is Angela Merkel saying to Barack Obama, well, Barack, you must prepare for the worst? Thank you very much.
Lovely.
Welcome to 1970s comedy.
They also, the FBI x-rayed his sausages and his pretzel before he was allowed to eat them. Presumably, obviously, because a wayward pretzel led to the demise, almost of George Bush, and a wayward sausage almost led to the demise of Bill Clinton.
Almost. Everyone looks happy, apart from Angela Merkel's husband, who looks like he's attempting to move the pretzels with his mind.
Because he liked the fact the guy didn't just have a brush on his hat, but he jazzed it up with 4 badges as well. It's quite a look.
That's amazing.
When you wear a hat like that, you don't expect there to be 5 other people at the table wearing that hat. Turn up and go, you got to be joking. I made this myself out of stuff I found in the garden. You can't possibly... Oh.
The danger of drinking at 11 in the morning at the G7 is that by the time you get to the final communique, it reads, I love you. This is the best G7 I've ever been to.
Dear Putin, miss you.
Do you reckon they had to do that thing because, like, the others hadn't turned up? Obama had to text David Cameron and said, I'd get on it on the train, mate. Because we are going to be hammered by the time you get here. I'd get a couple of those small gin and tonics if I was you, because Angela is almost sideways already.
Hang on, is this the G7 where 5 of the others have yet to arrive?
Yeah, but
Obama's just kind of sitting with Mr. and Mrs. Merkel going, where are you? We said 11 o'clock. Am I the man with the squirrel hat? What are you? I'm on my own? What are you doing? Don't leave me here on my own?
He's having a nice time. No breakfast is ever made better by Stephen Harper or David Cameron showing up to it. It's not like he's waiting to start the party when Cameron gets there.
Boy, aye.
From the other side, they all turn and Cameron's like, what is... Here it comes.
Strutting down, knocking pretzels out of people's hands. His fucking hat.
I bet Cameron's got 7 nickname T-shirts in the back of his bag.
Misdemeanor.
Captain Austerity's here.
The Merchster, put it on, put it on, put it on.
You put it on, you put it on the Merchster. He's like that. He does bring the party. So who was noticeably absent from the G7?
Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, and he would bring the party.
He would.
Check emails again. Maybe in junk folder there is invitation.
That's the saddest picture I've ever seen. I think Outshot is looking at one of those brush hats that he bought for the event. That's why they had beers. That's why they had beers early, so they could go, oh, mate, you missed the best one ever. He was wasted by 3 o'clock. I got off with Merkel.
I like to think that... Because Putin's not going to take it very well, but I like to think that he had his own G1 summit.
He said only an insane man in a dream would think that Russia would attack NATO. And you wondered, actually, whether he had, in fact, had that dream himself. And he was giving the rest of the world a bit of a heads-up on his current mental state.
Yeah, because he's insane. That'd be like, you can't say that about yourself. That'd be like saying, only a total legend to come back from the bar with 8 Jaeger bombs.
Oh, David Cameron, you've done it again. Wait, there's only 6 here. It's a long walk. Unlikely things to hear on a history documentary.
The Russians had Lemsip. The Americans had night nurse. This was the Cold War.
And it was in this humble florist that the War of the Roses began.
Guy Fawkes' bid to blow up the Houses of Parliament failed when he realised his body was made of jumpers and his head was an old football.
Tonight on Bruce Forsyth's History of Britain, Boadicea, Decea Bode!
Horatio Nelson, one arm, one eye. A tragic example of what can happen if you fall asleep and someone finds your organ donor card.
Welcome to Biggest Historical Boobs with me, Katie Price.
Tonight, I intend to find out exactly what did happen to Hitler's other ball. And my search begins right here in the Albert Hall.
And on Time Team tonight, we're in Stratford on Avon, where we've uncovered loads of monkey skeletons and some typewriters.
When Hitler started writing Mein Kampf, he intended it to be a light-hearted romp called Carry On Kampfing.
John F. Kennedy, Indira Gandhi, John Lennon. If history teaches us anything, it's that if you don't want your child assassinated, don't name them after an airport.
To be honest, I'm not interested in all this old nonsense, really, but since the end of Blackadder, the work's been fairly hard to come by.
It's hard to believe that this crumbling old ruin presented Weakest Link for as long as she did.
Of course, the Bronze Age was the third best age in history.
And now the documentary that every Channel 5 commissioner has dreamt of. Did Hitler sink the Titanic?
We've been digging in this field in Hampshire for 3 weeks, and we've found this one piece of crockery, which tells us we desperately need to get laid.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear over a tannoy.
We apologise to customers who have recently alighted at Northampton. I opened the wrong doors.
Could all the people shopping here at Asda please accept that you are piss poor?
Clean up required in the magazine aisle between loaded and nuts.
Would the parents of the lost child please pick him up from the meeting point? Madonna is trying to buy him.
I'd like to remind customers that our special offer this week is 100% off German bean sprouts.
If you would like to upgrade to first class, then you should have worked harder at school and got a better job.
Could the small boy holding the owl stop running at the wall between platforms 9 and 10?
Would the man on pump number 4 please remove the nozzle from the backside of the man on pump number 6?
Could the owner of the Ford Fiesta 1100 in the car park with the tinted windows and the go faster stripes sort your life out, mate? We'll get
I can't remember what the code is. Would Mr. Fire please report to the kitchen? That's Mr. Out of Control Fire. Please report to the kitchen before it's too late. I don't want to start a panic.
The train now approaching platforms 3, 4 and 5 is the derailed train from Swansea.
Would the owners of a black Jaguar please move it as it's attacking the customers?
This is your captain speaking. You can now turn on your mobile phones as you'll need to text your loved ones goodbye as we plummet into the sea.
Things you wouldn't hear at a school assembly.
OK, today we're going to have a special outing. So, Miss Williams, if you'd like to tell everybody why you're a lesbian.
We welcome a new member of staff today. He has no arms and no legs and no body, and we will call him the Head.
Would whoever's milkshake is bringing all the boys to the yard please stop it?
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, boys and girls. I've just had a shit the size of a baby seal.
If you are found in possession of cocaine, you will be given 100 lines. No, wait.
And today in the after-school club, we're going to be using paper mache to make a mother that actually loves you enough to pick you up at 3 o'clock.
I'm delighted to say that during the summer holidays, Mr. Wang married Miss Kerr. His nickname will remain the same.
A wise man once said, boys and girls, that if you try your hardest, you can fulfil your dreams. Generally, that's true. Not for you, though, Tom. You can't read. So...
And today, everyone, we have a new boy. Now, for some reason, whatever reason, he's been to a lot of schools, so be kind to him. Will you please make your way to the front? Richard Poo Willie.
A word about registers. Most of the staff are on one.
So that is how you put on a condom. But, sir, shouldn't you have used a cucumber? Not with that E. coli kicking around.
Sorry I'm late. I just had a bit of a run-in with an interactive whiteboard. It told me to fuck off.
I've had all your mums.
The next topic is unlikely things to hear on a TV talent show.
Tonight, I'm going to be climbing a SIP ladder.
You're right. I can't sing. Thanks.
I'd like to dedicate this song to a friend of mine who was run over last week and is in hospital. The wheels of the bus go round and round, round and round.
I've got an ability that no one on this planet has. That's Ant, that's Deck.
It was like Elvis was in the building. You're fat and there's a stench of death.
Well, Peter, it's not what everyone would call entertainment, but you are one hell of an assassin.
I thought you hit the high notes really, really well. Be interesting to see if you can still do that when I haven't got your nuts in a clamp.
Oh, where's my double act partner? Oh, he's in here. Feeling nothing more than feeling, trying to hold.
When you said you were going to ride a donkey...
Yes, I have been on the show before. I was once trapped in somebody else's underpants, going, feeling.
That was an exceptional performance, and the way that you have overcome your blindness is truly inspirational. But this is a chip shop, the X Factor audition.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're all terrible, OK? All of you, you're completely dreadful. I don't know what you're doing. Especially you, Hasselhoff. What have you done since Baywatch?
And as well as that, I can unzip the top of my head. It's where I keep my pyjamas.
I know you said you were a Gary Glitter tribute act, but we weren't expecting you to do that.
Unlikely questions from this year's exams.
Discuss the metaphysical meaning of the following poem. My friend Billy has a 10-foot willy.
Would you like this exam to be A, multiple choice, or not?
The Bronte sisters. Shag, marry, push off a cliff.
Discuss the following. The Nazis got all their ideas from the History Channel.
Who was the chap in the A team who would not get on the aeroplane? Was it A, B, or B, A?
If a bank loses £60 billion in a 6-month period, using numbers that you've plucked out of thin air, work out what the chief executive's bonus will be.
Napoleon, a small man or a long way away?
Quantify n in terms of q when q is a positive integer that dissects a parabolic curve.
How's your lucky pencil case now?
What's the name of that round thing that they throw in the Olympics? Discuss.
Draw a diagram of the genitalia of the male elephant. Use all 30 sheets of paper provided.
Biology. Without singing, what is the knee bone connected to?
Explain the use of juxtaposition in Macbeth. Alternatively, write down everything you know about Macbeth in a blind panic because you've got no idea what the word juxtaposition is.
Drama. Question 1. What was it that first made you want to become a waiter?
What is your PIN number?
The next topic is unlikely things for a continuity announcer to say.
And now, to upset children everywhere, it's Peppa Pig in pepper sauce.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Nigella will be back at the same time next week.
Up next, Ryan Giggs appears on Footballers' Wives.
Next up on Channel 4, live from Switzerland, it's Come Die With Me.
And now for a special episode of Planet Earth, where 6 chimpanzees will watch David Attenborough have sex.
And now is the time I have to be extremely careful, because the next programme is about Roald Dahl, genius behind Willy Wanker's Chuck Bollocks.
Next on the History Channel, World War II in colour. Look away if you don't want to know how it ends.
Just to clear up some confusion for our regular viewers, ITV 2+1 is not the same as ITV3.
First, though, there's a serial killer on the loose in Balamory.
If you've been affected by some of the issues in EastEnders, they must have been acting it better than they usually do.
And now, Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares for the hard of hearing.
You're watching the Dignitas channel. For God's sake, don't press the red button.
Next up, it's Bargain Hunt, which is also rhyming slang for the bloke who presents it.
Right now, Kate Humble's in the lambing shed.
Oh. Unlikely lines from children's books.
Yes, it is sad. I used to be on Top Gear, said Stick of the Dump.
Jack, do you have any more of those beans?
A Stringfellow? What's a Stringfellow? A Stringfellow? Why, didn't you know it has tanned leather skin and a massive libido and bad 80s hair and a grin like a pedo?
This little piggy went to market, and this little piggy stayed at home, and this little piggy went and died horribly of swine flu.
Let's learn the alphabet. A is for adopted, like you. B is for basmati.
And as Eeyore put the noose around his neck.
No, I don't think you should shave, Bilbo, said Frodo. Those feet need waxing.
Yes, yes, Grandma. What a big TV screen you got. Said Little Red Riding Hoodie.
Oh, "Who's been sleeping in my bed?" said Daddy Bear. "Well," said Mummy Bear, "it's been your brother Ryan, and he's a much better shag than you are."
I want to go to Tottenham, said Max. That's where the wild things are.
The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, or as we like to call them, the Sugar Babes.
Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was a handsome young prince named Dara.
Where's Gaddafi?
The railway children gesticulated wildly at the driver. You've left us behind, you wanker!
"Oh dear," said Postman Pat. "I've just had sex with my cat Jess. I should have gone to Specsavers."
And so Emily learned. If she'd just been a nicer little girl, Mummy and Daddy would never have got divorced.
Do you know what? Said the very hungry caterpillar. This gastric band has changed my life.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things for a sports commentator to say.
And there's just yet another Grand Slam victory for Andy Murray.
And now we come to the javelin. If you're watching in 3D, you might want to look away now.
And here we are at the women's football, but while you're enjoying the game, please spare a thought for all the men at home who are going without dinner this evening.
Well, he's stroked that through the covers. Surely it would have been easier just to pull back the duvet.
And here at the British Grand Prix, we've already had a couple of fatalities. Yes, 2 of the crowd have died of boredom.
Lewis Hamilton is 3 seconds ahead, but there's trouble at turn 17 as Dastardly and Muttley have dug a pit.
I'm here at the Green Court Bowls, and I've started cutting myself.
He's got the right hook in, he's got the left hook in, and he's finally finished putting up those curtains.
Well, welcome back after the break. You haven't missed much, just the entire Indian innings.
Now let's go back to Henley, where Claire Balding is standing with 2 cocks.
There's Rio Ferdinand. What a tackle! But enough from me. I really should let these lads continue getting changed.
Alex Ferguson has substituted Wayne Rooney. Of course, not the first time Rooney has been pulled off by a 69-year-old.
Well, what a result. The UK Somalian has beat America's Kenyan to show that the Africans aren't going to have it all their own way.
Thanks for all those fantastic statistics there, Motty. Now go and get a fucking life.
Unlikely agony aunt letters.
Dear Deirdre, I have recently become obsessed with a woman and begun stalking her. Look out of the window.
My partner won't give me oral sex, which is really annoying, because that's the only reason I formed the coalition with him in the first place.
My wife says I don't feel anything, which is a problem. And there was something else. Oh, yes, I'm on fire.
I'm 26, my girlfriend's 36. Is 10 years too big an age gap? Because her daughter's 16, she's a right little soul.
I have recently met a woman who makes me feel young again. She's 167.
Dear Deirdre, I'm from Nigeria, and I'm fed up of Mickey Flanagan mocking my accent.
Dear Auntie, I'm a very, very nervous person, and sudden noises really startle me. In fact, even if I hear a buzzer, a bit of wee comes out.
My mates are all getting into drugs, but I don't know what to do. Should I charge them mates' rates or just normal prices?
Dear Deirdre, I am a control freak. What should I do? I'll tell you what I should do.
I am 96, but I'm convinced that young women fancy me. Do I have penile dementia?
I've been wanting to come and see you for a long time, but I can't get out of the chair.
I am a man trapped inside the body of a woman. Could you tell us, please, how to get out of position 43 of the Kama Sutra?
I work in the public sector, and I'm really, really, really worried about my pension.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear at Wimbledon.
Well, at 2 sets down, let's see what he's got in his locker. He's not going to be there for about 20 minutes. I've got a crowbar.
Serena Williams has been seeded. You've got to admire the bravery of that bloke.
Hello, I'm Sue Barker. You may remember my father, Chew Barker.
Well, they say that the All England Club is a bit behind the times, and that's why this small boy has just had his hand chopped off for stealing a strawberry.
I am a tennis umpire and gay, and it wasn't easy to come out.
What a fantastic slice, but I do think the All England Club will insist she wears knickers again next year.
Fuck off, Tim!
Well, how did the umpire get up there? I think he must have used a set bladder.
Of course, this year the British players play a lot better. If we look at this graph, we see huge biceps and an angry... Sorry, Steffi, wrong graph.
And for any of our Scottish viewers, what you can see there in that glass of Pimm's is fruit.
Andy Murray here. Andy Murray not being able to make it here today, but we do have his cab driver on the other line. Can you tell us what's occurred? I can't get out the chair!
Moving on. What did we discover this week about British people's teeth?
They're worse now than they were in the Victorian era.
This is the thing that not even Victorian era.
17th century, isn't it?
From the 17th century.
The study is flawed, you know, because they analyze skulls from the 17th century and they say, oh, their teeth was better than our teeth now. Yeah, because in the 17th century, you get your adult teeth and then you die.
In America, everyone's got the same teeth. Gee, in Hollywood, everyone's got the exact same perfect white smile, you know. Like if there was a fire at the Oscars and they had to identify everybody by their teeth. They'd be like, it's been a week
We found all the British actors and Steve Buscemi.
I had Irish teeth as well. I have Irish teeth. They're really terrible. Irish teeth. I'm being like British teeth, bad. And stuff should have been done with them years ago. I had like one random fang. One fang. Like a kind of a, I'm a vampire sometimes. Thing. And it should have worn down. Actually, never did. I gotta get it all sorted out, like whatever. But two things put me off. A, the guy said, yeah, we'll do it, but you'll have a lisp for like a week. And I went, well, that's going to be really noticeable. This is 1 week I arrive in Gleam, welcome to Muck Week. The next round of Muck Week. There's so much selling go all around to Muck Week. That thing I'd be exactly the Robot wars. Coming to the arena where the robots will fight me.
You also become a wizard. That's not quite a lisp, but more of a squelch.
It is more of a
squelch. Is, you know, is more, it isn't the answer, what is the question?
Points for everyone. But then the other thing you said is actually we don't actually have to do all capping and everything. What we can do is we can put a thing that you can then just fit onto your teeth, right? And like you can put it on, and then we see how you like it. And I kind of like a tooth wig. Make me a tooth wig that I can put on top of my teeth, and then I go, does that you notice my tooth wig? And then I go, still me.
Maybe we should get a wig first.